Jorginho can take the thing naturally on the legs, but for Jorginho today, he needs to do that well, stop the counter-attack.
Welcome to the live.
Thank you very much.
So today we've got Chelsea versus Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge. Half 12 kickoff. I'm going for Chelsea to win 3-1.
Against Palace. It's live after the break.
I'm going for Chelsea to win 3-1. And I'm going for Werner to score, Ziyech and Thiago Silva, and for Palace, Wilfried Zaha. So yeah, I've just had my lunch. Sorry for the late starting because I just had my lunch. I beat the football this morning, so didn't go too well. We got beat 5-3. So yeah, I turn it up a bit before we win.
Live stream in play match live.
So I'm looking forward to this game. Hopefully Chelsea can get another win. Prove other teams that they're going to be a dangerous team to play against this season. Because they've already won one game out of 3 games. They've drawn won one and lost one. So it's not a great start for Chelsea after all the money they spent in the summer. But it's early days yet. Early days yet.
Following a few hiccups in their first year, the CEOs of Britain's newest bank, Santander,
sorry, I didn't add a photo of Chelsea Crystal Palace on like my video. It didn't work, so I just had to take a picture of my wall. Sorry, but I have put it underneath the picture of Chelsea Crystal Palace.
Meanwhile, at Santander, they're running free virtual scam awareness events with specially trained staff to help customers feel more confident with online and mobile banking. See what's possible at Santander.
So I'll try and get that fixed for tomorrow. I don't know why it's doing it for.
Double the protection in 72 hours,
but it's not
outlasting the leading antiperspirant and giving you the confidence you
I've got
need
the
to take on every challenge.
Picture below. So.
Our best ever protection in an aerosol. Sure Advanced Protection. It won't let you down. Erectile dysfunction is common among men. Doing something about it is less common. Newman makes doing something easy. We're licensed to operate in the UK. Our free consultation is online. Delivery is free and discreet, often the next day. The solution to erectile dysfunction can now be
ordered from the comfort of your own below if you want.
It's easy to do something about your erectile dysfunction. Visit
I'm predicting 3-1 to Chelsea.
Do something.
My prediction last night was really close
Ensuring
as well.
Team stay
it was 3-1 to
priority
Bournemouth, but I
any
predicted 2-1 Bournemouth, so it was close.
With Hi, you can connect your daily business calls wherever,
but
whenever.
Yeah, I'm predicting 3-1. I think Palace have a tough game today.
Hi Jane, is Jenny available? We're all working from home today. Stand by and I'll put you straight through.
Replicate your office phones on multiple devices for complete flexibility. Never miss a customer call again. Hi, always open.
Mendy and Chilwell, Ben Chilwell, and the keeper Mendy make their debuts.
New car.
Nice to see how the Chelsea keeper does today.
Cheaper, obviously.
It's from Motorpoint. They're never beaten on price.
Kepa's going to be leaving Chelsea.
Older.
All their cars are under 3 years old.
I think if Mendy just went and goal for Chelsea, I think Kepa would be out. I think he'd be on his way out. It's a shame because Kepa bought Kepa for 75, like the most expensive keeper in the world.
125,000 miles.
Been awful. He's never had a good game for Chelsea since he's come.
All our customers buy happy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but
Motorpoint. Car buying made easy.
So I'll announce you the team lineups for today's game. So for Chelsea, we've got Mendy making his debut in goal. Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, which I predicted he will score today. Zuma, Chilwell making his debut. Kante, Jorginho, Hudson-Odoi, Havertz, Werner, Abraham. Strong team for Chelsea. I predicted Werner to score as well, and Thiago Silva. Subs for Chelsea is Kepa, Arrizabalaga, Pulisic, Tomori, Kovacic, Giroud, Mount, James. That's a good bench for Chelsea. Quality all around there. For Palace, Guaita, Ward, Kouyaté, Saka, Mitchell, Townsend, McCarthy, MacArthur, Eze, Jordan Ayew, Zaha. I think Zaha to score today. Subs, Milivojevic, Dan, Maya, Hennessy, Benteke, Kelly, Reed-Wolf. That's a good benefit for Palace. Milivojevic again, he's a good player. Hennessy, good backup keeper. Benteke has his days, has his bad days. Scott Darren, another experienced defender, quality defender. You bring on Maya, midfielder, good midfielder. Kelly again, good defender. So they've got experience.
I've said it before.
Crystal Palace have got really good experience bench there, but Chelsea got young quality.
What a weekend.
They've got young and experienced, but all quality players. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've got it on my. I'm watching it. Actually watching it. So
right after Act 3 in the BT Sports studio.
Then after this, I'll be listening to the Sunderland versus Charlton Athletic game. Hope we win that. I reckon we'll get 3 points today. 1-0 Sunderland, another clean sheet. That'll be nicely.
With newly promoted Kings Lynn hosting Yeovil. And tomorrow, the choice is yours. From 11:30, high-flying Leicester take on West Ham.
Actually, tomorrow,
St Mary's, Southampton.
Tomorrow, I'll do
then it's to the top of the Gallagher Premiership for the final round of the season.
West
It's all
Brom
about the
Southampton.
playoffs. It's so dramatic. It's so tight. And we bring you every single story, all the twists and turns, and all the live games right here on BT Sports. What a weekend ahead. You are spoiled for choice, but right now, we're almost ready to kick it all off here at Chelsea. Your weekend starts here. Yes, indeed it does. Chelsea Palace just minutes away. If you're out and about, there is one interesting way you can watch the game, and that's by downloading the BT Sports app. Not only can you use the interactive timeline,
I'll do the Leicester and West Ham game tomorrow. It's 12 o'clock kickoff. I'll do that one.
You can't be here. We hate the fact that Stamford Bridge is so empty at the moment, but you can choose whichever camera you like, including the 360-degree camera if you want to feel
I'll just do the Leicester and West Ham game tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
Quality is great. Let's hope the game is just as important. Rio, what's key from your perspective today?
I think frankly we wanted to see a team that he's put out there find some sort of cohesion, some understanding out on the pitch. Obviously,
they're in the tunnel now.
Something that
Chelsea players will line up in the tunnel
now.
And I
think that the Palace team were looking to continue where they left off, defend very well as a team, as a unit, and look very dangerous on the break.
Yeah, I think from Frank's perspective, I think it's very important. The goalkeeper and the back four look like there's improvement.
Remember, like and subscribe.
Chelsea, for Crystal Palace, I think they've had a good start for the season. I think
hopefully I'll get more subscribers, but
and let's see what
I really appreciate people coming on in there.
We shall see. And as you can see at home, the players are already walking so early on in the season, but it does feel important for Frank and Chelsea today. A win is the aim for them. But having already won at Old Trafford, Palace will be confident. Chelsea versus Crystal Palace in the company of Jermaine Genius alongside Darren Fletcher. Good afternoon to you both.
Good afternoon, Jake. Hello again, everybody. We're all set here at Stamford Bridge for the first of 10 London derbies in the Premier League for Chelsea and Crystal Palace this season.
Come on, Chelsea.
This one pits the west of the capital against the south, and it involves the oldest manager in the top flight against one of the youngest. Roy Hodgson managed Frank Lampard with England today. They've got different objectives, but share the desire for maximum league points. And it's a fascinating-looking Chelsea team today, with new players being bedded into a starting 11 and some debuts thrown in there as well.
There's 3 debuts for Chelsea.
Ben Chilwell in the Premier League today for the first time
Mendy,
in Chelsea blue, as does that man there, Edouard Mendy, who they recently signed from French football and who played his first game in the colours of Chelsea in the EFL Cup against Tottenham in midweek. And of course, Jermaine, we still have this situation at the moment that one team is out there standing and waiting, and we don't know how long it's going to take Crystal Palace to get themselves out there to join.
Chelsea are lined up.
I don't think it's
Palace aren't
even
out in the tunnel yet onto the pitch.
Clubs within the Premier League are following right now, but there's no doubt that
Chelsea is just waiting. And the Palace players aren't even out yet.
Give us the opportunity to get your thoughts pre-match, based on what the fellas were talking about, Rio and Joe. It is an interesting situation here, this development of the Chelsea team. Roy Hodgson knows exactly what he wants to do. It's a tried and tested group and a tried and tested shape, but it certainly is a work in progress here for Frank Lampard and Chelsea.
Yeah, I think Frank's searching for balance, and balance is the key word today. And I think that there's a lot to do with the inclusion of Azpilicueta in his squad today, because You know, that man in particular, the leader of this team, is a man that he won't go forward as much as obviously on the other side, Ben Chilwell will, and that's going to be very important down on the left-hand side where Zaha likes to pull out to, and obviously where Eze is going to be playing as well. So balance key for Frank today. He needs some big performances from his defenders to keep a few people quiet.
Settle down into
Anybody
the
knows
squad
where the
very
Crystal
easily.
Palace
He's a
players
very,
are,
very
they can
good
possibly let us
experienced
know.
player
I think it's in the
around the
same
club.
room that we did to get to our commentary position, Fletch. As we know, a very long one.
Yeah, they've got to make the journey from the car park here at Stamford Bridge. That's where the temporary training or changing facilities are. And here come Crystal Palace with
I
Joel
think
Ward,
Crystal Palace will make
Wilfried
it difficult for
Zaha
Chelsea
at the
this
front of
afternoon.
things.
I think Chelsea win for
One
a
thing we
tough
will
game, but
see
I still
today
think Chelsea
is
will
a
win.
different
3-1
interpretation
prediction.
of the handball
3-1.
law. The referees have been instructed to be a little bit more lenient in that regard, and of course Joel Ward was at the centre of all of that last weekend in the match against Everton, so that might just be a step in the right direction.
Rule
Well, it's
is
been addressed,
ridiculous.
and rightly
Honestly,
so. I think the
ridiculous.
wording
They need to
is what's
change the
changed,
rule.
not the actual law. It's going to be interpreted very differently
If it's
for
accidental,
referees. So
it
hopefully
should never
that'll
be
bring an
a
improvement
penalty.
to what was some really shocking
If
decisions
he's
that
got
we
his
saw
arm
early
up
on in
like
the season.
that, then yes, because it's deliberate. But not
So
if
the good news
he's
is we
in
have
an unnatural
the two
position.
teams
We
on the
can't help
pitch.
it.
It's Chelsea
Whereas
versus
arm
Crystal
is,
Palace
he
to
hits
get
his
the
arm.
weekend
It
action
shouldn't be
underway
a penalty.
in the Premier League. Now
Never be
these
a
are
penalty.
early days for the new look Chelsea, and Frank Lampard has made 6 changes to the team that started at
Lampard's
West Brom
made
last
6
weekend.
changes from the
Edouard
team that
Mendy
played in
makes
the
his
cup
Premier League
midweek.
debut in goal after starting against Spurs. Ben Chilwell also plays his first league game for the club at left back. Kurt Zuma, Cesar Azpilicueta, Jorginho and Callum Hudson-Odoi all start as well. Thiago Silva is the only defender to keep his place from the game at the Hawthorns. Caballero, James, Christensen, Alonso, Kovacic and Mount are the 6 who drop out today. As for Palace, well, they're still without the likes of Cahill, Schlupp and Van Aanholt, players who will have a big role to play as the season develops. They're unchanged today from the team that lost against Everton. Cheick Kouyaté continues at centre-back. Tyreek Mitchell has made a bright start at left-back this season. Ebere Eze starts his second Premier League game for Palace. And it's Zaha alongside Ayew up front. And tactically, Jermaine, it's a counter-attacking team in Crystal Palace against the Chelsea side who want to establish some presence here at home.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we all know with Roy's teams, they're all very well drilled. They do the job very well. I think the 2 players at midfield, McCarthy and MacArthur, do a brilliant job and stay switched on to any issues that are going in that type of position of the pitch where Havertz will be occupying today. So they're a dangerous team for Frank Lampard's Chelsea this afternoon.
Come on.
Edouard Mendy starts his first Premier League game for Chelsea, and Frank Lampard hopes he's the answer to their goalkeeping issues. He cost £22 million from Rennes and played in the League Cup in midweek. Wilfried Zaha has already scored 3 times in the league for Crystal Palace, 1 less than he managed in the whole of last season. He was on target here 3 years ago, the last time Palace beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge.
He must be wondering if he'll ever get a Premier League start again.
There's a different type of pressure on Frank Lampard this season. New players raise expectation levels, which leads, of course, to increased scrutiny. Roy Hodgson had been a manager for 2 years when Lampard was born. His last win here at the Bridge was 22 years ago with Blackburn Rovers.
Is in the cup matches, but I don't know. I have to wait and see what happens. But come on.
And the players here observing a moment's silence for Mattia Ratana, the Metropolitan Police officer who was tragically killed a couple of weeks ago in Croydon.
That was. Well, just
Michael
policeman got
Oliver, who's
abused.
the referee, he awarded 3 penalties to Leicester last Sunday at the Etihad, and he has this new handball interpretation to deal with today. He's going to be assisted today by Andre Mariner on VAR. Well, it's all quiet here at Stamford Bridge. This Saturday lunchtime, it's a different scene on the nearby Kings Road, but today is a derby day with a difference. The big stadium standing proudly in this part of West London. The knee taken by the players and the management teams, and we are underway here at Stamford Bridge. And I'm pleased to tell you, a filthy wet morning, the rain's gone away, and there just was a sign a few moments ago that a bit of sunshine might be creeping through. As for the form, Crystal Palace have made the better start to the season with 6 points from their opening 3 matches. Chelsea have won.
That's a good start, yeah. 6 points from their 3 games. Good start to the season. I mean, Roy Hodgson is a brilliant manager. He's been there and he's done it for different clubs. He's been England manager, he did well, he was successful there, so yeah, Palace has got a really good manager.
It's got that little bit extra on the line for obvious reasons.
Yeah, it has. I think that performance against West Brom, from Chelsea's point of view, just kind of really raised a lot more questions and answers, even though they came back in a very emphatic way in that game, which showed that they have got some resilience and fight within
I'm going to have to lie down because
I think from Crystal Palace's point of view, where they are very dangerous to anyone right now, is Roy has got his team playing with such confidence, such structure, and a way of playing that if you expose yourself too much, that they will catch you out. You know, they've got pace and power and skill and technical ability in those forward areas now, which, maybe they had lacked at certain stages in the season before, so they're looking good.
Still 0-0. It's 1 minute into the game. It's been quiet so far. It's only the start of the game, so.
One of the changes made by Frank Lampard today. Here's the first
Palace on the attack. Eze's on the left wing.
For Crystal Palace. It's his first chance to have a go at Azpilicueta. It's McCarthy.
McCarthy's giving it away. He's giving it away to Kevin Havertz, and he's bursting down the wing.
The German international who's settling into life in the Premier League. N'Golo Kante, and then the cross drilled in.
Corner to Chelsea.
Behind by Mitchell. They've managed to work the opportunity nicely.
Mitchell defended it well for Palace.
Yeah, the attacking
transition of Chelsea there was good.
But the attacking from Chelsea, really good. Really good play.
Width on both sides. Hudson-Odoi was the option on this occasion, just didn't quite get the ball into his box, but as you can see, Frank very happy with his team start.
The Chelsea corner taker here is going to be the England left back, Ben Chilwell. He played 66 minutes in midweek in readiness for today. And it's his left foot that's going to try and make something happen here from the corner for Chelsea. It's coming towards Tammy Abraham. So dealt with defensively there by Jordan Ayew.
Good defensive work from Jordan Ayew. It's still 0-0. It's 4 minutes in.
Supported by Chilwell. There's a real focus today on the goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy. It's been a real problem position for them, but you'd say the left-back area too, where Ben Chilwell is today, has also been an area of concern for Frank Lampard. It's the main reason why he switched to 3 at the back last season, because he didn't really feel he got an orthodox left-back in the squad. And I'm sure he wants to see the team cut out these individual mistakes that have caused so many problems for them at key times in matches.
Yeah, I think he obviously felt Alonso going forward does offer a lot, but defensively left them susceptible at times, and Chilwell is the perfect foil for that. He kind of does both very well. He's coming for a lot of money, so whether it takes him time to settle in or not, a lot's going to be asked of Ben Chilwell down this left-hand side.
Callum Hudson-Odoi started down the right with Timo Werner down the left. Kai Havertz has the responsibility of moving forward to joining with Tammy Abraham.
You can already see though, Timo Werner's he's drifting. He's kind of going into positions of the pitch where more centrally, at times, yes, he will revert back to his shape, but that is what Chilwell will give you with holding that width.
Azpilicueta with a good ball into that was good defended by Kouyaté.
That was really good defended by Kouyaté, that was. Really good defending. I think we'll do a lot of that this afternoon for Crystal Palace. Defending this afternoon.
Just couldn't quite get there, and Kouyaté didn't take any risks. Did what good centre halves do.
Good defending.
Got rid.
Chelsea have sent both Kurt Zuma and the veteran Thiago Silva into the Crystal Palace box. Corner a bit deeper this time from Chilwell, and an
Far in the box.
in there.
From a corner.
Seems to have already made his mind up there, Michael Oliver. A free kick was going to be given. Tough to spot what it was.
Free kick to
It's going
Crystal
to be
Palace.
under the spotlight today, as all the officials are. Let's just bring in Peter Walton, who's with us. Peter, just talk us through how this handball is going to be interpreted now then, after all the controversy with decisions that have been given.
Well, basically, it's a dampening down of the strict implementation of the handball that we've seen early in the season. What it's going to be is it's going to be much more subjectivity rather than the consistency that we've been seeing.
Chelsea players down. Havertz is down. Werner's down. Sorry, Werner's down. That was not serious. It was not serious. Little whack in the face from Scott Dan, but nothing too serious. Just a little whack in the face. But he's up.
Handball at Manchester United Palace. That won't be given now because that was his arms was in an expected position. As indeed with Joel Ward in the Palace versus Everton game the other week. Again, he was setting himself to defend. The ball struck his arm, and in the new interpretation, that won't be given as a handball. However, the arm above the shoulder, Darren, will mean that that will be given. So if we look at the Dyer handball, the Spurs-Newcastle game, the lawmakers are still saying that shouldn't happen, and that will be given as a free kick or a penalty kick, as will the Warplay win for the Brighton Manchester United last week. So ultimately, we'll see a lot more subjectivity rather than the initial penalising of a hand to the ball.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Comprehensive explanation there of what we can expect. I think the best way to describe the handball at Tottenham was a Dyer handball. Let's hope it's just significantly more sensible, Jermaine, from this point on.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Crystal Palace have made their best start to a Premier League season for 5 years, and their win at Old Trafford offered real optimism that they can be an effective counter-attacking team away from home, something they were really
They're a
good
good
at a
team,
couple of
Crystal
seasons
Palace.
ago.
Really are.
The fact they've
Especially
scored
when they're away from
so
home.
far is a big step in the right
They
direction
really do
for the
hurt
team that
teams,
struggled in that
and
department last season.
especially they do hurt teams, like
So
big
Timo
teams.
Werner, who, as Jermaine said, will roam around in the final
That's why you
third
should
for
never
Chelsea, was something
underestimate
in
Crystal
great
Palace.
effect as a Leipzig player.
Even playing any big team, because
Kai Havertz had just popped out
you
there
never know.
a little
You
bit
never
wider.
know how Crystal Palace is going to turn up,
It's
or
Thiago Silva.
how the other team plays, or how Palace has hurt the other team. But they are a very good team. I like Crystal Palace. Very good. Been very successful over the years in the Premier League. I'm not sure about relegation or anything. Just they're being very comfortable in the Premier League, which is nice to see.
When you got players like Tammy Abraham and Kai Havertz in your team, the height that they possess, the aerial ability, balls into the box with quality like that will cause anybody problems. They've already started well with a couple from Chilwell on this left-hand side.
Agree. Yeah, I've started well.
On the other.
Chelsea have started really well on the front foot, getting balls in the box.
Much more experience look to the
Chelsea
Chelsea team
Silva's
as
been
well
winning
today,
headers,
Jermaine, when you
tackles,
factor in
so
that
yeah, it's been a
the
good
club
start
captain
for
has put
Chelsea.
Quintus back in there at
which
right
I
back, and
expected,
Thiago
but
Silva has all the experience
It's
in
a
the
long
world.
time to go yet.
As one of the centre backs, Jorginho, has been restored to the starting lineup as well. So seems to be a concerted effort here to get some leaders out there as well in Chelsea colours today.
Yeah, massively important. I think when people talk about defending, automatically we're so obsessed these days to just replace personnel with new individuals, and sometimes we forget about the vocal element to the game. The talking, the direction of almost just moving pieces in the jigsaw into the right places. Rio, one of the players I played with, was one of the best at that. Whether I was against him or with him, he never shut up, to be honest with you. Got annoying at times.
I might be finishing a bit early. All depends what time this match finishes, because Sunderland play at 3 o'clock. So I might be leaving a bit earlier, but it won't be that much
This
earlier.
is the
Just a little bit.
21st different defensive lineup selected by Frank Lampard in 42 league matches.
But,
through necessity, a lot of the time, and I'm
yeah.
sure he wants to get that unit a lot more settled now moving forward. Kurt Zuma.
Poor pass from Kurt Zuma to Ben Chilwell. Poor pass. Too much pace on it. So Palace have got a throw in.
It's been a hectic start to the season for lots of teams. Chelsea are playing their 6th match in 19 days.
It's ridiculous.
Frank Lampard rotated his team at Spurs on Tuesday night, but it's a unique situation for all of them, which is leading to issues that they might not have faced before. Flicked on there by Tammy Abraham, and then Havertz was just looking to try and help it on towards Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Played away from them.
Yeah, that's a lot of what I expect Chelsea to do today. If I was up against Palace and with the danger that they possess on the counter-attack, little fouls like that are important. Just break it up, get back into shape, stop their kind of flow that they possess when they can get going.
So Eze. Joe Wooler got forward there from right back, but he was just slowed down, wasn't it, the ball by Zaha trying to take it. They might just have had a man over there, Crystal Palace, today, had he been allowed to run through to Ward.
Yeah, I think Chilwell just got sucked into a position with Andros Townsend. Probably be better just to hold his shape there. Just left that space down the right hand side.
11 minutes in, it's still Chelsea 0, Crystal Palace 0. I predicted 3-1 Chelsea.
If you want to watch the match without the hand-in-hand sound, you can hear the stadium noise only on One Extra HD. Chelsea 0, Crystal Palace 0. On the home side have had the majority of the ball, but Crystal Palace have had no real scares so far. Defending come over there for Crystal Palace by Sacco.
Palace defensively are really solid at the back. They've got some really solid defenders at the back. They don't concede many goals, Crystal Palace, to be fair. They've got quite a solid defence all round. They've got a really solid defence.
Yeah, he's done a good job. Obviously, they've got a lot of injuries in the team, Palace, and I think he spent some time there at West Ham playing within a back three, but he's looked solid there next to Sacco in this defensive unit for Crystal Palace.
Scott Brown is back on the bench today. James Tompkins and Gary Cahill still unavailable. Patrick Van Aanholt is still missing as well.
Patrick Van Aanholt, excellent player, good player. Important for Crystal Palace. Been really good for them when he came. When he's
spotted the space out on this side for Ben Chilwell into Timo Werner. His intention there was to try and find Tammy Abraham.
Oh, cracking ball from Jorginho to Chilwell. Cracking ball.
Thiago Silva. Callum Hudson-Odoi to take on Mitchell. Havertz then sees him.
Oh,
From the edge of the box.
Kante had a shot outside the box, but it went well wide over the bar.
Yeah, it's good play again from Chelsea.
Good play there from Chelsea.
Really using the width of the pitch. It's time to go out to Hudson-Odoi and
really good start from them.
Against a team like Crystal Palace, who defensively are so solid, the back four usually get themselves inside the 18-yard box, so it's difficult to play those through balls. Shots on the edge of the box are important. You get deflections. It just starts to make that back four thinking about having to get out and press you a bit more.
Frank Lampard's included Callum Hudson-Odoi from the start today, having come off the bench to score at West Brom last weekend. There's been a lot of talk about him being a player that could leave Stamford Bridge before the window closes. Bayern Munich were a team that wanted him a couple of years ago, and the word is that they're interested again. I think he would like to bring in a little bit of defensive help in central midfield, Frank Lampard, if one or two other players potentially leave before the window closes. So it's far from a guarantee that they'll do that, but I think there is a desire to do it if they can.
I find it a strange one.
if I'm honest, I think Hudson-Odoi is very, very well thought of here, and whether they're looking at it in terms of his
It's still Chelsea nil, Crystal Palace
nil.
nil. Chelsea started really well, but Crystal Palace defensively solid at the minute. Been really have been defensively solid.
In the world, in Kante. It's just how you ask him to operate, really. Christian Pulisic is back on the Chelsea bench today. Still no sign at this stage of Hakim Ziyech, another player this side from Ajax. It's Kai Havertz and now Ben Chilwell. That was a good challenge in there by McCarthy.
Palace are organised so well. Chelsea are going back and forwards, but that's why Palace are happy to just frustrate Chelsea and make them pass it back.
So further in a deeper central position, Jorginho with a bit of a miscue. Scrambling to try and clear it though, Crystal Palace and making heavy weather of it before it was snapped away by McArthur. And now there's an opportunity for Eze to play it forward towards the run of Zaha. And that was important defending back there for Chelsea by Thiago Silva. Oh, it was nearly their first chance to counter.
So we just come on, it's Chelsea nil, Crystal Palace nil, and it was played 16 minutes in. 16 minutes in.
Otherwise Chelsea are in trouble.
Chelsea being the better side at the minute.
The Chelsea captain, Azpilicueta, has only missed 5 Premier League games in the last 5 seasons for Chelsea. Ben Chilwell.
Palace is so well organised. Chelsea don't know where to go. They just go back to the keeper. But Palace defensively got organised really well. They got their shape and they're keeping it. It's frustrating Chelsea.
You feel will catch this Crystal Palace team out eventually. Hudson-Odoi moving in. Pick out Timo Werner with the pass though. James McCarthy was there in the right place for Crystal Palace, and now they can come forward here through Andros Townsend. He's hardly seen the ball so far out here on the right hand side. Last touch there off N'Golo Kante for the Crystal Palace throw. One thing I would say about last weekend is that his set pieces were really impressive against Everton, caused a lot of problems, didn't he, Andros Townsend?
Andros Townsend's a really good player. He was good for Newcastle as well. It was a good sign for Crystal Palace. I'm surprised he's been set for the England squad. He's a really good player. He's very important for Crystal Palace. And the goal that he scored against Man City 2 seasons ago was unbelievable. I think the best goal I've seen scored by anyone.
The goalkeeper was always going to be the favourite, but again it was Kai Havertz leading the Chelsea attack.
Havertz had a shot on goal and saved by Quetta.
You know that Havertz is going to have an influence. He's the one player
straight at the keeper though.
Struggling Crystal Palace to deal with because he's got that freedom to roam and go where he needs to go. Good play, good way to pass. He's only 21. He scored 18 goals in all competitions last season. There's a problem here for Crystal Palace. Kouyaté is the player that just needs to be looked at by the medical team. But with regard to
Kouyaté is down. He's got a bit of a knock. Should be alright though, hopefully, for Crystal Palace. Very important player for them. Especially when they've got some players absent for Crystal Palace.
This is the reason why Kouyaté just needs a bit of attention.
What, sorry?
See watching it. But with Havertz, I think the view when I played against Chelsea against Michael Ballack, he was quite similar in positions behind you. He was very good in the air. In a 4-4-2 structure like Palace.
So if we just come on, it's Chelsea nil, Crystal Palace nil, and Chelsea have got free kick.
And for midfielder to drop back and mark him. Some marking to do here. Thiago Silva was jumping. Jorginho.
Jorginho blazed it over the bar from the free kick.
There's a good high line there from Palace. Just Thiago's
Palace is still defensively well organised. It's frustrating Chelsea at the minute.
Just sets it up for Jorginho. Just couldn't quite get his knee over the ball, but good high line from Palace.
Tends to score his goals from a penalty spot, doesn't he, Jorginho? Not too many in open play. Thiago Silva, who you just saw there, is in the Premier League at 36. I've got to say, having watched him in the Champions League last 8 tournaments in Lisbon, and he pretty much played in a back four against Bayern Munich, who was scoring goals against everybody. That was a fair indication that there's still plenty left in the tank for Thiago Silva.
Yeah, I think people really get drawn, and again,
Thiago Silva is a really good defender. He is really good defender.
As you said, I think watching him for PSG, especially last year in particular, he didn't have any issues.
Good sign for Chelsea, Thiago Silva.
It's a good acquisition from Frank.
Zaha's from Crystal Palace to throw in. It's been a quiet start to life in the Premier League so far for Edouard Mendy, the Chelsea goal who's hardly seen the ball. Frank Lampard's now given debuts to 15 players since he became the manager, and Edouard Mendy is the 11th Chelsea debutant in the Premier League under him. Chilwell challenges Townsend effectively. Roy Hodgson looking on. He was managing Halmstad in Sweden the day Frank Lampard was born. By the time Lampard made his first team debut at West Ham, Hodgson was in his 8th managerial job of managing
Roy Hodgson is the oldest manager in the Premier League. I think that's really incredible how he's still going strong, but he's still a brilliant manager. I always will highly rate Roy Hodgson.
Hasn't got huge respect for Roy Hodgson. Just look at the match stats there. Chelsea clearly dominating possession in the game, but that was expected. Fletcher, in all honesty, Crystal Palace are a team that are happy to let
Zaha's down with a bit of a knock, but he's got it fine. That's good for Crystal Palace. Really important play for them, for Crystal Palace. Zaha scores most of their goals.
Zaha has got the captain's armband for Crystal Palace. He's off to a really good start to the season in terms of scoring goals.
He's playing a different position as well. I think people forget that was Wilfried Zaha. He spent a lot of the time last year playing left wing and doing the job that Eze's been doing today, getting back defensively, helping, and a lot of stuff gets thrown at him in terms of assists and goals. Well, he's only been playing up top to the
free kick to Crystal Palace. Eze's taken it.
The goals are looking good as well, and hopefully that'll continue for him.
Crystal Palace has sent Mamadou Sakho and Cheick Kouyaté forward for the free kick, which is taken by Eze in towards Kouyaté. And it floats through without a touch of behind for the goal kick to Chelsea.
It was a waste from Crystal Palace, just went straight through the defenders.
Easily dealt with there.
Easy to deal with for Chelsea there. Didn't have much to do. It's 25 minutes in, and it's still Chelsea near Crystal Palace 0. My prediction was 3-1 to Chelsea.
24 minutes gone here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea have dominated the early possession and been the more inventive of the two teams, as you'd expect here, but there hasn't been too many clear-cut chances created by Frank Lampard's team as yet.
Because Chelsea are really finding it hard to break through the Crystal Palace defence. Crystal Palace are defending really well at the minute. Really well organised at the back. Know the jobs, know what they're doing. And yeah, it's been a solid start to the game for them. Haven't had really much of a scare, Crystal Palace, at the minute.
Chilwell's taking the two corners on the other side of the field. He's going to take it from this side as well. So it's going to be the outswinger for Chelsea. It's in towards Abraham. We've got a fair old piece of that in the middle, but not able to guide it towards the Crystal Palace goal. It was a good delivery again, though, from Chilwell. I think, like you say, though, Fletch, you got
good delivery from Ben Chilwell there. Abraham got his head to it, but it went over the bar well wide. He misread the situation, he misread the ball.
Don't forget, we've got more Premier League football from 3 o'clock today. You can see Everton against Brighton, 2 teams who have made bright starts to the season. There's a couple of games tomorrow as well. Leicester against West Ham from 11:30. And at the same time, that's on 1HD in Ultimate, and on 2HD at the same time, you can see Southampton against West Brom. And don't forget, Saturday the 17th of October from 11:30, the first Merseyside derby of the season, Everton against Liverpool. And the Champions League is back on BT Sport from Tuesday the 20th of October. So loads of great games coming your way in the coming weeks with us here on BT Sport.
So if you just come on, it's Chelsea 0, Crystal Palace 0. It's 25 minutes being played.
John Ward has a decent ball.
Nothing much happening really, not many clear-cut chances. Both teams are well organised at the back. Not really much happening really.
To put a couple of passes together, it was some really intelligent positional play from Eze actually that unlocked this attack. It's coming inside off that left-hand side that he plays off into a little pocket of space, and lovely ball out wide. You'll need to do more of that to allow Palace to get themselves up the pitch. I think it's more natural for Palace to do it on that side, because I think Mitchell prefers to get forward far more than Ward does.
So MacArthur latched onto a mistake by N'Golo Kante, who got that really well to get the challenge in on Zaha, albeit at the expense of a corner.
That's what Kante's brilliant at. When it breaks down, sets in
Good block from Kante. Wilfred Zaha was going to have a shot there, but he blocked it well, Kante. Good block.
First corner here for Andros Townsend. Kai Havertz there with the near post. For Chelsea.
Really put
Gonna get a drink. Thirsty. 1 minute.
Comfortable for keepers that. A lot of bodies on top of him. How he deals with it.
Andros Townsend again a bit deeper this time, and then he started to go, and he wouldn't have got there. Thiago Silva was the Chelsea player that was in the middle of it all. Here's Eze for Crystal Palace. Sacco. Set back there with Kouyaté. Townsend closed down quickly by Chilwell.
I'm back.
Edwards is back. There's some Ayew back there helping out.
Just got a Diet Coke.
Well to Eze. It's gone for Tyreek Mitchell, the left back behind him.
Still 0-0.
Steps in there to dispossess Eze, and now Chelsea can set.
Half an hour, nearly half an hour being played.
A couple of times now. N'Golo Kante. He's clearly in there, I think, in most people's eyes to do things like that. You know, Azpilicueta gets himself out of position. Guess who's filling in that position that Eze was about to attack? And I think it's what that back four have needed. Obviously, been missing through injuries. It's been difficult for Frank to get one of his main centre midfielders in that position.
Looks like it might take a bit of guile today, though, from Chelsea's side of things. Jermaine, a bit of invention, well organised.
Still not as much happening. Just Chelsea is keeping the ball, but Palace are well drilled defensively. So at the minute, Palace will be happy with the teams. It says that this is half time.
Combining with McCarthy, the two central midfield players for Crystal Palace. Header won by Zuma. It's Kante. Havertz out to Hudson-Odoi. He's just switched to this side for the time being. He's on the left, and Werner
I've just spilt my Diet Coke everywhere.
Burton struggled really.
That's not going well.
The one that's struggling to kind of get himself into the game, find
It's not gone well at all.
the ball and bring what he brings to the table, that pace, that running in behind.
I'm still here. I'm cleaning up the mess.
That's where he's so effective, isn't it?
It's all over my bed.
He's got speed to burn.
It's not good. Because I'm going to get absolutely battered when my mum comes in. Oh, your Diet Coke's everywhere. Oh, yeah, I just spilt it by accident. It was because Chelsea scored a goal and I went absolutely crazy. It's okay. The evidence is gone. Nothing's happened. It's a bit wet on my floor, but it's fine. It's a bit mucky, but oh well. It's all right. Still got some left. It's still 0-0. It's still Chelsea 0, Crystal Palace still. 10 minutes till half time.
Somebody's got a post up for him there and everything. Once it comes into Ayew, if he's in the right position, you can play off him then. Just got caught on his heels. They rely on Ayew's work rate and energy so much, don't they? Yeah. He was the top scorer last season. He's not prolific, but he adds an element to this Crystal Palace team that they really need. He does endless work defensively, getting back in, especially when you come up against, as they have today, a midfield three. Allows you as the two midfielders just to drop in and let him deal with that whole the sitting midfielder. Havertz has done really well there to get the ball into Callum Hudson-Odoi. Ben Chilwell on the run if he can catch it. And it was just a little bit
too wide for too much for Callum Hudson-Odoi to cross it in, but good play. Good play though.
I thought he was unlucky when he did. Good play from Kai Havertz again. As I mentioned, he's the key. Just slowed down a bit there, Ben Chilwell, with this run, and I think that's what just held him back a little bit. You do notice, don't you, mate, when you see the wide shot, there's only one Chelsea player in the penalty area when the cross would have come in, and that was Tammy Abraham. You're going to have that sometimes because of the fluidity in which Werner and Hudson-Odoi and Havertz play. There's sometimes you're going to get left short, and it's mainly up to Havertz to fill that void. Saka caught one in the face there, and Chelsea can come forward now with Kante into Tammy Abraham, who went on to Timo Werner.
No, still 0-0.
But I'm not sure that the young Crystal Palace left back knew a great deal about that.
It's not a penalty.
Abraham's just got to be ruthless here.
Abraham's just got to do better in that position. Just hit the shot. He's just trying to do too much. Just hit the shot.
There's nothing in that. It's not a penalty.
It's not a penalty now. We didn't know much about it, Mitchell. So it's not a penalty.
A bit more selfish.
Tell you what, Abraham tried to be too. He tried to pass it to Werner when he couldn't have a shot, but the opportunity for Chelsea there.
One pass too many in the early going until it settles down and they find some kind of rhythm. You just got to think about the best.
It's still 0-0.
They've done, for years, whether it was Drogba or players like Harry Kane now. They're thinking, I've got a yard here, get it onto my left foot, have a shot. To go in the first half, 0-0. St John Ward for Crystal Palace. He's only scored 4 goals in his career. 3 of them have been in London derby matches. Here he is looking to try and make his way to the Chelsea box. It was a good challenge on him by Zuma. One thing you do see when you watch Thiago Silva up close and personal is just how well he reads situations. He's there a yard or two ahead of others, isn't he? Because he can see exactly what people are intending to do. You don't play right at the top to the age of 36 without having the ability to do that. There are certain things in your game that do drift away from you.
I'm back. It's still Chelsea 1. No, when I say that, it's Chelsea 0, Crystal Palace 0. It's nearly coming to the 40-minute mark. Nothing much is happening really. you've got a Crystal Palace team that are well defensively organised, and you've got a Chelsea that's had so much possession but haven't really done much with it. Crystal Palace been really good defensively.
N'Golo Kante, Chilwell, Kai Havertz. Kurt Zuma did well. It wasn't the best of balls back to him, was it, from the German?
It wasn't. He had to take his time with it, be careful about making his decision, but you can't help but be so impressed with the way that Palace defend.
Palace defense is really good, so hard to break down, I really do agree. They always have been a team that always had good defence, always been solid at the back. That's why I said not many teams score a lot of goals when they play Crystal Palace, because always been good at defence.
Only 36 minutes will tell you that Chelsea are a team that want to attack in space, but at the moment that's being denied by really good defensive organisation for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I mean, looking at what they've got as well, they have got the option to go long into Tammy, get Havertz running off him. We saw that for years with Chelsea, with players like Drogba and Lampard, knockdowns.
Chilwell with the corner.
Chelsea, but well dealt.
This Hudson Odoi.
It was well good. It was well dealt with by Guaita from the Crystal Palace goalkeeper. Punched it really, really well out from the danger.
Chilwell back to Aspilicueta, and it's going to be brought back for the initial challenge.
Can't speak.
Ben Chilwell,
Can't get the words out.
Kick to Chelsea with a foul by Jill Dyer.
Right decision.
Chelsea free kick.
That work that you spoke about earlier, Fletch, what it brings to the team.
Good defending over there by Eze, who got there just ahead of Callum Hudson-Odoi, won the free kick as well. Eze, who signed for £16 million from Queen's Park Rangers in the summer. He was the player of the year at QPR last season, 14 goals he got for them. He's only 22, he made his first Premier League start last weekend against Everton, but he's a real exciting prospect, isn't he, for Crystal Palace supporters?
I think one of the biggest compliments I can give him right now, he looks like he belongs in the Premier League. He looks so comfortable out there, on the ball, in possession, picks up intelligent positions on the pitch, doesn't just stay out wide and think, well, I'm not getting the ball.
He fits well in the Premier League at the minute, and I think he will always be a Premier League player. He's too good to be anywhere else.
Picked up here by Jorginho, Kai Havertz.
So, well money spent for Crystal Palace.
Jorginho's ball towards Tammy Abraham, who took it down really nicely, and then Guaita was
good save by Guaita. Tammy Abraham.
Came off Tammy Abraham. It's gone behind for the goal kick to Crystal Palace, but on that occasion, Jermaine, they did go long.
Oh, look at the ball though from Jorginho, and that's there's a difference there between kind of going long and trying to get knockdowns, but that was just a perfectly played ball from Jorginho. He spotted the spinning behind from Tammy Abraham, and he just got really unlucky.
Unlucky for
Abraham. And obviously, Palace just dealing with it at the end, but that's better. Sometimes you just have to mix it up a little bit. It's okay trying to score the perfect goal and passing it around, but just give Palace something else to think about now.
Wonderful ball there by Jorginho. Tammy Abraham scored in both games against Crystal Palace last season, and he scored in both games that he started this season. So maybe that bodes well for Chelsea's number 9 today. Havertz, who's really good at finding those little pockets. He couldn't quite squeeze it through though to Werner. Konate's gone down again, having helped make the interception for Crystal Palace.
Konate's down for Crystal Palace again. He's all right there. He's back up.
These balls against Palace, they're trying to play these clever balls through the middle. They're just so switched on to them, and they play so narrow anyway. Really got to just get back to using the width here. But Ben Chilwell's in acres of space on his left hand side.
It's still Chelsea nil, Crystal Palace nil. we're heading for the 40-minute mark. These bandits still half time, and Palace have been fairly happy with their performance. Really solid, they've been really solid at the back.
6 changes to the Chelsea side today. 5 of the new signings are in. So still waiting for Frank Lampard to give Hakim Ziyech his debut, still out with a knee problem. We've seen Ross Barkley go to Aston Villa this week as well, and you think if there is going to be a busy side of things at Chelsea between now and when the window closes, you would expect that to be departures to try and trim the squad and maybe trim the wage bill a little bit with all of the arrivals who have come in.
Yeah, there's players like Loftus-Cheek who I'm sure still have aspirations of playing in European Championships, getting back in the England squad. He needs to have a look and probably think about getting out on loan. We had a good spell at Palace that got him to the World Cup a couple of years ago. We'll be looking to do something similar again. Players like Rudiger, I think he's the one that stands out for me with regards to a big player at the club that put him in the squad today.
Free kick's been given to Crystal Palace here. It's Ben Chilwell, the
Ben
Chelsea
Chilwell's
down.
down.
But he'll have some defending to do when he gets up. Handball.
He's alright though, he's back up. So it's a free kick to Chelsea. It's 41 minutes being played. It's Stamford Bridge.
Lips away from it, takes up his defensive position with Andros Townsend over the free kick.
Andros Townsend's going to whip it in the box. Defended by Chelsea. Good defending by Zuma. Good defender.
Townsend's got 2 here. Timo Werner and N'Golo Kante still manages to dig out the cross.
Another good whipping from Crystal Palace, but it was went wide from Saka.
For over 3 years now.
I think Frank will be asking more from Werner here. Get tight up, don't let this ball come into the box. So that lets him get away from him. It's a good delivery.
Good delivery from Townsend.
Just needed to get it directed towards goal. Saka got the beating of Azpilicueta, as you can see.
Unlucky.
Tommy Abraham chases this ball forward from Ben Chilwell, which is seen behind by Chet Kiate. Tell you what, Jermaine, Mendy and the Chelsea goal must be thinking, well, it's quite a job when he's a Chelsea keeper, 42 minutes, and I don't think he's touched the ball, has he? Certainly not when he's in a usual goalkeeping manner, shall we say.
He hasn't much to do.
Thinking that'll be his biggest mistake. I'll tell you that, especially against the Crystal Palace team.
It's Kepa, who's sitting it out today. It's his birthday today. Kepa Arrizabalaga.
Happy birthday. I'm sure he'd rather be playing the game. It's Mendy, who's got that spot at the minute.
Better one there by Thiago Silva.
Still 0-0. Richie
Coutinho
half
swings it out
time.
to Chilwell.
Richie half
He was
time.
under pressure straight away from Townsend. I think he's going to come back for the free kick.
Free kick to Chelsea.
Michael Owen was just sitting there with the Chelsea had managed to keep the possession.
Foul by Townsend on Ben
There's
Chilwell.
a race to the ball. I think Townsend's just on the wrong side of it.
That's been quite a good defending over there by Sacco. The confidence as well to
Another
find
bit
bits
of
over
good
the back
defender
here.
from Crystal Palace. Bit of clean element
Losing
as
out to
well.
Jorginho and he's fouled the Chelsea midfielder. So a free kick to Chelsea approaching half time.
I think a little bit of play is, a feeling of how Palace feel in this game. They don't feel right up against it. They haven't really given away any clear-cut chances. But they also feel, I think, that when they get it, if they compose, they can play through Chelsea. So got to deal with this set piece now to get into what would be a very good first half of Roy Hodgson's team.
See what Callum Hudson-Odoi can do from the free kick.
Callum Hudson-Odoi flipping it in. Poor free kick, too far. We're past everybody in blue. Poor free kick that was from Callum Hudson-Odoi.
It did, but it was strange the way Chelsea set up. They didn't have kind of the back post covered.
Havertz to Werner, and then the tackle made by John Ward. Silva back there ahead of Wilfried Zaha, and then Mendy forced to hurry. Minutes of the end. What do you think Frank Lampard will make of this first half, Jermaine? Because despite the fact his team have had the ball so much, they've not really looked that dangerous.
No, look, they started the game very well, and I think Palace just got control of the game and have been more comfortable. He'll be asking more of his team. I think more shots, more crosses, more productivity. All these passes, they can look nice. Guaita's not really had to make a save either, has he? That I can think of. So I think he'll be thinking, when we get around that box, can we do something productive with the ball?
I think they're going to feel them second half, Chelsea. I think Crystal Palace will tear up because all they've been doing in the first half is defending and chasing the ball down to the back. So I think Chelsea will score in the second half. There'll be some tired Crystal Palace legs in that second half as it goes on.
He's only missed 2 since Lampard became the manager. He was the player that missed in the shootout against Tottenham in midweek, but that's not why he's not playing today. And you would think there will be a role for him at some stage if it stays like this.
Half time.
So
Chelsea 0, Crystal Palace 0. Not much happened really.
No real drama in the first
No real
half.
chances created. Two keepers have been quite comfortable. Haven't had much to do. Crystal Palace have been well defensively drilled. Chelsea have had all the possession, but haven't done much with it. So yeah, no. So yeah, not much happened really.
100 jalapenos when you could have had over 300, something like that. I'll bet you. No, not bad.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one.
It's half time.
Pretty rubbish.
I got this.
Love to kick back with a Big Mac? Ain't nothing you wouldn't do for a McMuffin. McDonald's is now available on Just Eat. If somebody say Just Eat. I've been searching for a long time to find somewhere to be mine.
If only finding the one you really want was as easy as with the Mercedes-Benz online showroom. Compare all approved used cars in stock today and see the latest offers. Now available with home delivery. Search Mercedes-Benz approved used today.
If some days are rugged, but some days are smooth, Philips Prestige makes 3-day stubble easy to remove. If nanotech blades cut with ultra-sharp precision, then a close shave is today's decision. Philips Prestige Shaver. Blade close, smooth skin. There's always a way to make life better. Philips.
So to me, bring top by the set tonight and let
As a sidekick to a hero, my role is to help wherever I can. So when Barclaycard launched a new program to help you use credit with confidence, I thought, this sounds like a job for a sidekick. See what helps to protect your online purchases, learn how to build your credit score, and how to plan for the unexpected.
After years of plotting in the
Shemine, we're posing here.
rude.
It is rude. Get credit confident. Search Barclaycard Sidekicks.
Catch them, Sergey! They don't seem very tired, Mr. Alexander. There'll be no cricket tomorrow. No TV, no treats. There'll be no big beetle bath. And as he gave a big yawn, all the other beetles yawned to help get your little pups to sleep with the limited
12 times
edition
in the video,
Oleg
12
toy,
times.
only with a
Chelsea
qualifying
and Crystal
purchase
Palace now.
compares the market. Beetle bed.
You phone?
Nothing what's happening in that first half.
They just won #1 network for
No real
5G.
drama,
And
really.
#1
Being
network
quite
7
boring, to
years
be
in a
fair.
row.
Look at him. Can't believe it. I thought my network was #1. How could you be so foolish, Doug? I'd give anything to be that man on that network. Don't be a Doug.
Get EE or get network envy.
We can start. It's your family, your teammates, your squad. This is football. And in football, you are never alone. FIFA 21. Win as one.
That's sick.
Long ago, the world was full of magic. Over time, magic faded away. But I hope there's a little magic left in you.
It's from your dad.
This brings him back.
It's just legs!
We've only got 24 hours to bring the rest of him back.
Put it in O for Oscar!
Whatever it takes, I'm gonna meet my dad.
Disney and Pixar's Onward. Available to stream on Disney+.
I know the answer. Right, Jules, over to you with the sausage pizza. Welcome back. Nice to have your company. Different times for all of us, which means busy times for us. We've got a couple of games for you today, and the same applies tomorrow as well. This is what's lined up. We've got unbeaten Everton, who started so well, coming your way at 3 o'clock today against Brighton. Then tomorrow, we've got the current leaders, Leicester against West Ham. That's followed by Southampton up against the West Brom team, looking for their first win since promotion. And a bit more Chelsea for you as well tomorrow. Chelsea women away to Birmingham women from 2:15 on BT Sport 2. Well, it's nice to be with you today. We've got Joe and Rio alongside us. No goals, no drama. What did you make of that first half?
Yeah, a little bit subdued at times, I think. But I think Palace will be the happier of the two teams. They've come here, they've done exactly what we expected. They sit in fantastic shape, and they haven't looked as potent on the attack or threatening as they have in previous games. But I think they'll be more satisfied than Frank's team.
I wish we could have a camera here while the games are going on, because to hear Rio shouting at players during a game is one of the
And Joe, it ain't just me.
You're louder. We've had a lot of yes, Thiago. What have you made of his performance? You seem to have enjoyed it from up here.
Yeah, it's lovely being here with Matt Fantasy. The only thing that I like is that you can actually hear the players. You can hear who's
And they can
talking,
hear you.
and they can hear us. They listen to me, obviously. But no, what I've liked about it, other than just him defending very well on the counter-attack, looks like he's really on his game today. There, cleans it up there. And the experience, you can tell he's getting himself in good positions early on. Pressure when on the ball when need be. But I think a big part coming across here, covering the space in the middle of goal, always need to be doing that. And I think that's what you're buying. You're buying that experience and know-how. But here, telling players to quicken up the pass, that's what you need to shift this team with a set-up to defend here. Getting Kante in front, get yourself in front, protect the back two. That's what Chelsea have missed here in recent seasons, is a leader at the back who can make sure holes are plugged.
Well, if he's leading Chelsea on the pitch, Joe's leading Chelsea off the pitch, hasn't he? He's been standing here coaching the strikers as they've been attacking the goal behind us. They've not created a clear-cut opportunity, really, have they, Chelsea? No, the game's poised. They've not been able to break down. What they need to do is they need to move it outside of the 4-4-2 of Crystal Palace, because the space in between the lines, Havertz has dropped deep. I mean, Roy is a master at this. They are well drilled. There's no space in between the lines. The two midfielders, they block passes into the forwards, and it's well drilled. You have to go around the outside of it. And the joy Chelsea have had is when they've moved it quick and gone around the outside.
What was second half better than the first half was?
Defensively. They've not been
Needs
an
more
attacking
quality
threat.
from Chelsea.
This is what you need to do, Jake.
Being too poor.
Ball ball carriers driving through.
Some
Kai Havertz,
some
we don't
moments
see
have been
more of
good
him
for
from
Chelsea,
this.
but
Mason Mount's on the bench. We might see
the
him. Callum
input,
can
like
get
the
at
final
a bit more.
ball
But
or
we've got
final
the
shot
players in
hasn't
the team.
been
Chelsea
too
can do
great.
this. We just need more moments. And credit to Crystal Palace, really, because
But
they have
Crystal
defended well,
Palace have been really
we need
good,
more moments like this. And as the
really
game
good
opens up
defensively,
naturally,
really
it
calm
will
on the
happen.
ball,
And when you do get
really
in like
good,
that, you
yeah.
need ruthlessness. You
So
need
they
people
don't
to
really
just take
change
charges.
anything.
And
They're
that's
happy.
what Frank Weeks
They're
needs in
happy with the
second half.
result.
Pulisic should
They
come on
will
and make
be.
a big
Get a
difference.
point
In
Chelsea,
someone
that
who
would be
can carry the
amazing.
ball and drive a gap
Incredible.
through the pitch.
We shall see. Well, certainly Roy's team are doing what Roy's team do. They're sitting in. They're frustrating Chelsea. They only had 27% of the ball. They've not managed a shot on target, but the onus is on Chelsea to come out in the second half and try and dominate here at home. Don't forget, Palace have already been to Old Trafford and won. They'd love to repeat it here at the Bridge. Second half next.
Second half is after the adverts. Can't wait.
I think beef. Do I think they can eat the beef? I think they got an outside chance.
Harrogate Town were on the brink of history,
We fiercely thought this is our time.
but then everything changed.
Stay at home. Protect our NHS.
Oh, it's gone off. Oh, it's gone off. It's gone off. Put it back on. Back on.
Take on any task, from start to finish. All available to click and collect from 5 minutes, or delivered for free the next day when you spend just £25. Toolstation. Tools and more for any task.
Boom shakalaka, all the people that want. Some of them are flex, some of them are charge. Mind your body, because you're better.
Look at that. That's a good biscuit, isn't it?
Links Africa, hot since 95. If someone asks you what you're made of, don't just tell them, show them. Show them that you're made of proving the doubters wrong. Show them you don't have to raise your fists to beat your enemies. Show them you're stronger when you stand together. And show them, whoever you are, you stand shoulder to shoulder against all forms of prejudice. Because when we show our best side, we don't just play the game, we change it. New bike,
The second
You
half
switch.
soon, just adverts.
you get fit. You switch. You ping pong. You switch. You switch customers have their energy usage saved, so you can switch in as little as one click. What you do while you switch, well, it's up to you.
eSwitch. Energy broadband mobiles.
What you do while you switch.
Want a laptop you don't have to charge like 10 times a day? It's switching time.
to a Chromebook with up to 12 hours of battery life. Or how about one with automatic updates that won't interrupt you? Chromebook can do that. Or built-in virus protection so you won't lose all your stuff. It's switching time. Good. That's better. So yeah, if you want all of that, switch to Chromebook.
It's Chelsea 0, Crystal Palace 0. It's been a bit of a boring first half. Not much going on really.
I don't know why it was so hot. I ordered a corner.
What was second half?
So 0-0 at half-time at the Bridge, and right after coverage is finished there, it's over to BT Sport Score and another big game from the Premier League, Jules.
Yeah, we'll bring you all the goals from Goodison Park as Everton take on Brighton, plus all the scores up and down the Football League and from around Europe too. We'll see you just before 3.
Indeed we will. Thank you very much. We're waiting for someone to do bits on the pitch. Donald is already doing bits down in the tunnel. Nice moves. I wonder what shapes we're going to see though in the second half. Wait for Palace to come back out here. What do you want to see from Palace in the second half? Or will the message from Roy have been, this is perfect?
The message from Roy will be, this is perfect. Keep doing what you're doing. Be mindful of Chelsea when they do the reverse counter-attack. And what I mean by that is when Palace have dropped in and they have an attack and then Chelsea come onto them. But apart from that, it's been picture perfect for Roy. It's how he sets his team up, how he wants them to play, sit in and get forward from there.
I think Chelsea, from their point of view, I think they're getting the ball into wide areas, and it's about quality, the decision making in them areas. I'd love to see Callum Hudson-Odoi taking on the fullback. He's had 3 or 4 opportunities to really get at him, played probably the safe ball, played inside. And as a wide man, I want to see you take people on, and I think Werner, get him into the game.
Yeah.
He's someone who's got immense talent. I've not really seen him free himself up yet and get some space, and that's credit to Palace the way that they're playing. But Chelsea, again, they've owned the first half in terms of possession. It's about creating opportunities now on the back of that and then being ruthless.
You both took a look at the Chelsea bench before the game and you were thinking, wow, there's some great talent there. They've just been warming up. Olivier Giroud scoring goals for fun
on the pitch now,
behind us at half-time. How long until he switches, makes a change?
I think he would have thought about it at half time, because it's very tempting when you've got the quality of Pulisic, Mason Mount, amongst others on the bench. I think this for me, Palace taking their time, strolling out on the pitch, couple of they can't play like that. They need to be alert. They need to be that for me, that's a bad sign for Crystal Palace, because I think they might be lulled into a sense of they're happy with their job. It's good for us. It's only half time. The way that they play, the way Roy sets them up, they need to be on it.
But it is different. I mean, they're getting changed in the health club next door. Yeah. That's sort of part of this, isn't it? It's
just a different environment now. Everything, the landscape's changed completely around the 90 minutes. So that's part and parcel, and we're all getting used to it. And but is this old school mind games? Just making teams wait. I used to go to Wimbledon back in the day. Do you know what I mean? And playing, they'd make you wait. It's not cold, it's not raining, so I don't know what they're making them wait for. But listen, they made them wait before the game. They made them wait in the first half. The way they played, they stifled them a little bit. They're looking to do the same, I'm sure. Second half, here they come.
Here they come, indeed. Finally, here come Crystal Palace making their way out for the second half. Even now, they're not in too much of a rush. So let me hand you back to Jermaine Genius alongside Darren Fletcher in the commentary box for the second half. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Jake. So there is Roy Hodgson making his way down the touchline here at Stamford Bridge. I was just looking, Jermaine, at the difference between the Chelsea team that we see today and the one that played in the cup final, which is a really significant match not that long ago, and only 3 starters from that game are starting here today. And it just shows the amount of work that's gone in here to try and redevelop this team to be one that they feel can win titles for them again, big competitions moving forward.
Yeah, it's a big project for Frank moving forward with this club, and I think anytime you spend money at a club like Chelsea, the pressures of that come with it. But the facts are, it's going to take time. They will score goals. Chelsea, they'll have moments where they look sensational, but when you do add a lot of different elements to a team, it can just take a little bit longer than usual to for it all to click.
Neither manager's made a change at half time, and here's Callum Hudson-Odoi for Chelsea.
I think as the game goes on, Chelsea will start to really hurt Crystal Palace, because I think there'll be a lot of turnovers up there as the first half goes on. Because Crystal Palace have been doing on, not just defending.
The early sign, Werner's definitely
chasing the ball down.
A bit more central. He would have been a key
talking
So I
point.
think it'll be
I think from
from
Frank's point of
Chelsea
view, how to get him on the ball and more involved in this game.
They'll hold on as long as they can.
Snodoi with a chase on. She was able to win, but not keep the possession with Chelsea. That's a play there by MacArthur. They've worked well in midfield, haven't they, today? The two central midfield players, McCarthy and MacArthur.
Yeah, they're solid week in, week out. Endless amounts of running. Especially helping out this side with Eze and the other side with Werner, just keeping those gaps really closed up.
Well defensively drilled.
Here he comes again, MacArthur. There's an extra man.
Lovely turn by Kai Havertz to find himself a bit of space.
Well blocked by
Tyron McCarthy, the player we were just talking about, who got back there to make the block.
Good block.
He had the chance to hit it there,
I mean,
Kai
McCarthy,
Havertz.
not Tyron Mitchell.
Just felt like he had more time to get it a bit closer to goal, but he should have just let it go
Zaha's
when you get
down.
the chance.
Wilfried Zaha is down here, but so is Thiago Silva as well. Player
Well,
who
both
ran into
players
it.
down. Oh god. Really? Wasn't watching that.
Here's that chance for Havertz. He's a bit far out. McCarthy just doing great work,
Now Mendy's got the
as he
ball.
always does in that Palace
goalkeeper.
midfield.
He's had a quiet game, hasn't much to do. Both keepers haven't really much to do. Really, they haven't had any moments where they have to make a save or anything like that. It's because both teams are well defensively drilled. So.
Just keep an eye on Thiago. He's just been holding his hip since that collision a couple of minutes ago.
Thiago was injured.
That's something that he can work through. We'll wait and see.
It's just you can get through it and it'll go, but hope it's not anything severe.
Fikayo Tomori is the central defensive alternative today. There's no Christensen or Rudiger among the Chelsea subs for this one.
Hudson down the wing, cutting inside, going back. They're just going back.
There's no way through.
There's just no way through for Chelsea.
Chelsea just need to lift the tempo a little bit.
It's too
Less
slow.
passes,
Passes are too
sharper
slow.
in those areas like that.
There's not a lot of movement going on.
Chilwell,
Just
Havertz out there with him.
side
Timo
passes
Werner's
and back
not
and
that far
forth.
away either.
Because Palace are just comfortable, sitting off and
There's Azpilicueta.
sitting off Chelsea. And just
Jorginho.
got their shape. And, they're comfortable, very comfortable.
It's Timo Werner desperately trying to get involved in the match. Hudson-Odoi to take
Werner's
on
been
Mitchell.
really quiet today.
Full clearance by Sacco.
Isn't it?
Here's Azpilicueta. And then Abraham. And then coming in to smash it in was Chilwell.
Chilwell scored
And
his
there's the
debut
breakthrough
goal.
for Chelsea.
Ben Chilwell has got his debut goal for Chelsea. From close range, poor defender from Crystal Palace didn't clear it out, and and that's led to the goal. So it's Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 0.
Well, that money you pictured is
5 minutes in the second half,
he'll be disappointed.
we've started Chelsea, but poor
You know
defender
that
from
it's his
Crystal Palace,
mistake that has let Chelsea back in front of this game.
which I thought I was going to
Hudson
say,
Odoi
but
trying to commit
poor,
players, have done what they've done
poor
all game,
defender from
Palace,
Saka.
and blocked the cross. That little attempt to clear the ball there was the big mistake, but fair play to Chelsea and Tammy. They're alive, they fight
Powerful
to keep it in
shot.
those dangerous areas. And here comes your left back. The quality we know he possesses in that left foot to stick it in the back of the net.
Hit that like a
Put his
funny
team
ball.
1-0 up.
Really good shot.
Well, it's his 100th game in the Premier League today, and he scores his
Good
first
goal.
goal in the blue of Chelsea.
Good debut
And for
goal.
all of Chelsea's possession and all of the inventive football they've tried to play, they've got ahead via a pretty scruffy goal.
Yeah, sometimes that's what it takes. You know, in these games, you know, teams as
as resolute as Crystal Palace, you're waiting for mistakes, and sometimes you have to force those issues. There's something from Hudson-Odoi running at left back was causing a little bit of commotion as well.
The power we generated on that.
It's forced a mistake, you'll be disappointed because they were comfortable in the game. They really were, but that was sloppy from Sacco.
Yeah, sloppy. That's the first real mistake that Palace have done. They've been so good up to their defence. But one lapse of concentration in the quality of Chelsea have put it back in it.
So Chelsea have the lead. With the goal will come an element of relief as well. They were proving difficult to break down Crystal Palace. And it took that mistake by Mamadou Sakho to allow Ben Chilwell to fire Chelsea ahead.
More minutes go on, the more minutes go on, the more chance they'll create.
Havertz just able to keep it alive. Well, it's gone out now for a Crystal Palace throw-in. I wouldn't think they'd change it too much at this stage, no. Crystal Palace, Jermaine, but a second Chelsea goal might just lead to a bit of a rethink from Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, I mean, they won't. Yeah, this is their model. It's what they do. The bottom line of it is Chelsea are going to still want to have a lot of the ball. They're going to want to attack, and that's where Roy feels he's going to get his best chances.
Attacking-minded team.
It's the right back Joel Ward, supported by Andros Townsend.
Good tackle from Ben Chilwell.
Corner to Crystal Palace.
Good tackle from Ben Chilwell. He's a good stop.
Back Sakho to get himself in there and make amends. Goes the Townsend corner, headed away by Kai Havertz.
Good header from Havertz. Good defensive block. Header. Good defensive header.
Back out towards Townsend by McCarthy and headed out by Chilwell.
Again, Chilwell again. There at the right moment.
Eze. Laid off by Zaha to Mitchell. And they've got plenty forward here, Crystal Palace. Breaks here for MacArthur. He's not a regular goal scorer by any stretch of the imagination.
Sky high into the Rose End.
Yeah, he got caught right in between. Sees manager's not that impressed by it either. The first kind of spell we've seen Eze and Zaha link up though. We're going to need more of that to break down or give Chelsea any problems today. And if anything, if they do start to open up, you'd want that link up of Eze pulling out wide and see what Zaha can do to Thiago.
Chelsea just about found their way through the Crystal Palace press.
Still under the Chelsea after Ben Chilwell's close-range finish.
I'll be happy to see his side ahead.
From a
if they do start to press forward and put in more Crystal Palace, that could just open up the space for Timo Werner at the other end, who's been very quiet so far. There's been a great deal of room for him to operate in at all.
No, I think if anything, Frank's thoughts towards Timo Werner would be to either take him off or put him down the middle. He's been very ineffective today.
He's not listening to him.
A lot of that is down to what you're saying, though. Palace they don't allow spacing behind, which is obviously one of his strong points.
Mitchell challenging Hudson-Odoi. It's been a good battle between those two so far.
He's been solid, Mitchell. Not even letting crosses come into the box.
Good young defender, Tyron Mitchell. Really been impressive.
It's a position that's usually occupied by Patrick Van Aanholt, so it's an opportunity for the youngster to get some Premier League experience, and he's shown in the early weeks of the season and towards the back end of last season as well that he's more than up to it. It's Ben Chilwell, the Chelsea goal scorer. Now Timo Werner. There by Zuma.
Poor pass from Zuma.
Poor pass though by
But
Andros
then it's a
Townsend.
poor pass from Townsend.
Quite sure what he thought Ayew could do with that.
I just assumed he was going to be making the run, but that's the pass there from Zuma that he needs to be careful of. They're 1-0 up now, and the onus is on Crystal Palace to come and win the ball. Got to be more patient than that. You can use it the other way around now. You know, you can kind of say, right, we'll play, and they'll draw Palace towards them. Then we'll see the space that Werner wants to operate in behind.
Being played 60-minute mark nearly. It's still 1-0 Chelsea. I think my prediction is going to be way off. I said 3-1.
Who's the furthest forward here for Chelsea?
I think about 2-1 Chelsea. 2-0 Chelsea. I don't think Palace will score. We don't know, but I think my prediction was a bit too much. But I don't know. Football's a funny game. Things can turn quickly. One mistake and then it leads to a couple of mistakes and then it leads to goals.
See, I'd be tempted here to just keep the ball. They've got to engage at some point.
Good play from Chelsea down the flat way. Corner to Chelsea.
A corner, just came off Tyrick Mitchell.
Another good defender from Tyrick Mitchell. He's kept Hudson-Odoi quiet down that wing. Doesn't be able to cut in or cut into the box. He's been well kept by Tyrick Mitchell.
Zuma and Thiago Silva have gone in there. It's Ben Chilwell who's been on pretty much all of the Chelsea set pieces so far today. It was a good ball in and a good opportunity as well for Zuma.
Corner taken by
can't guide his header into the back of the Crystal Palace net, but he got a really good contact on that.
Yeah, he's unlucky. Timed his run really well. They just leave him
alone. Good run into the box, but well wide.
It's a good leap on it. Sees it all the way. Maybe just a little bit too high, which is why he tries to glance it towards that far corner, but very unlucky.
Good crossing though by Calvert-Lewin. Good crossing. Unlucky.
Kurt Zouma scored against Brighton in the opening Premier League game of the season. It was a decent chance that for him. Another good corner delivered by Ben Chilwell.
Sorry, it was Ben Chilwell that took that corner.
There's Jorginho and now N'Golo Kante.
More can't play for Thiago Silva there.
But Ben Chilwell took it. It was a great cross. Great ball in.
There's a real lack of pace to the game at the moment, Jermaine, which you would expect would suit Chelsea with the lead.
Great run from Zuma.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to Palace now what they want. You know, they can't just sit in forever. At some point, whether there's changes made, which I'm sure Roy Lewington and Roy will be talking about at some stage, but from Chelsea's point of view, it's just keep the tempo, knock it around, don't let Palace have the ball, frustrate them, draw them out,
tie them
as much as you can.
And then Chelsea should exploit
Don't make a mistake as well, I would think would be the mantra at half time from Frank Lampard. Eze's won it back here from Kai Havertz.
The mantra is always don't make a mistake, Fletch.
Especially when it's cost them as dearly as it has in games. Havertz conceding the foul.
Havertz has conceded the free kick, so Palace got a free kick.
Got the space out there for Ward. He's got Ayew in the middle, and he sent it straight into the gloves of Edouard Mendy.
Good handling from Mendy. Leadbitter fan. Leadbitter fan.
There's McCarthy with Havertz. It breaks here to MacArthur. Over for Zaha. It's the shot away. Thiago Silva on the block, and that's behind for the corner to Crystal Palace. It hasn't been too many opportunities where Zaha's been able to turn like that.
Yeah, it was the first time they pressed a little bit higher, Palace. A reward for it.
Yeah.
So the deep cross, and Chilwell knew that he could duck underneath it. If you missed any of the major incidents today, maybe the Chelsea goal scored by Ben Chilwell, you can head over to the BT Sport app on your mobile or tablet and use our
good finish from
interactive
Ben
timeline
Chilwell.
to check it out
Good
from
finish.
the camera angle
Really
of your
good finish.
choice.
He's had a good debut for Chelsea. I think he's been the best player. Crucial goal. It's very comfortable at the minute for Chelsea. Really comfortable at the minute. It's still 1-0 Chelsea. Over now
Chelsea won,
played.
Crystal Palace 0. First goal in Chelsea blue today for Ben Chilwell. Timo Werner trying to slip in behind. It was a really important defensive touch over there by Ward.
It was so nice from Jorginho in midfield.
It's a lovely ball by Ward to get Townsend in behind Chilwell. And they've got 3 others up with him here, Crystal Palace. Here's Ayew with the cross. Mendy
Good
with the
save
block.
by Mendy.
And been cleared away by
Really
Thiago
good save.
Silva.
That's the first save he's had to make. Really good save.
Caught out of position there. Very high up the pitch. Townsend, he thought he was going to shoot here. Yep, he was onside. I like that from keepers. Maybe he should have held on to it, but he's reading the one across the box.
Good save
He's
by
moving
Mendy.
around a bit.
Really good save.
Deflection on the way through, wasn't it? That just might have caught his eye. It's a warning, though.
Chelsea on the attack
Crystal
here.
Palace on the
Callum
counter-attack.
Hudson going right
Certainly
wing.
pose a threat. Here comes
Right hand
Chelsea with
side.
Hudson-Odoi.
He's cutting in with a shot. Well blocked.
Blocked by Saka.
Well blocked. Really well blocked from Tara Mitchell there.
It's a foul on Eze by Azpilicueta. We're going to
That's
see
a
the
by
first
foul.
yellow card today.
I think it's the first card of the game. Yep, yellow card for Azpilicueta.
I'm saying it's his first
Bad
one. I
tackle
think it's a
that
couple of
was.
fouls on Eze now that
Pulled
so
his
well
shirt
getting his
back.
body in, and that's just stopping the counter-attack there from Azpilicueta. Warrants a yellow card.
First card of the game.
It's approaching 400 games.
I think Palace
for,
making a sub
Chelsea.
here. I think
Says
they're
not
going to put
Azpilicueta, that's
Milivojevic on.
Duka Milivojevic. Having his final instructions from Dean
Good is
Kiley.
coming off. But
I think it's going to be James McCarthy who's going to be the player to make way. Milivojevic, who was
James
pretty much
McCarthy's
first
coming
choice in
off.
central midfield
for,
last season.
I think he just offers maybe a little bit more in forward passing. Obviously, set pieces, we know what he can bring to the table as well.
Thrown to Chelsea on the right hand side. It's still 1-0 Chelsea. From a goal by Ben Chilwell. Good finish. Was.
Jorginho and now
His
Abraham.
first goal for Chelsea.
Did well to get away
First
from
game as well.
McCarthy. Werner lets it run now to Chilwell.
Chilwell on the left hand side. Crosses it in. Well
In
blocked.
the end, I think Tammy Abraham wanted that
Well
ball a
blocked
little
by
bit quicker from Ben
Saka.
Chilwell.
He's just took too long, though. I think from Tammy Abraham's point of view, when this ball goes out wide, he's got to be thinking back post. You know, this is coming to. He's making a run in there, which is, you know, but he's kind of past the near post. I want him to kind of pull a bit more
So
central
it's a
towards
corner
the
at
back
Chelsea
and just
on
say,
the
right,
left
throw one
hand
up and I'll attack that. My
side.
size, my power that I possess. You know, I've got a chance of winning that one. Just kind of closed down his own space with that run.
My prediction was 3-1.
Thiago's the
I don't
late
think that'll
arriving
be the
centre
right
back here for
prediction.
Chelsea. Chilwell with the corner. Check
Cleared
Kouyaté.
away
There's Callum
from
Hudson-Odoi.
Saka. Back.
Chilwell can have another
Chilwell
go.
crosses back in.
In towards Zuma.
It's in!
Good goal.
It's in!
Well, he missed one moments ago.
Zuma's just headed
but he
into the
made
back of the
sure
net.
this
It's
time.
2-0 Chelsea.
Ben Chilwell
They should
has
win
a
it now.
goal and an assist, and Kurt Zouma makes
Ben
it 2-0 to
Chilwell's
Chelsea.
grabbed a goal and an assist for his debut for Chelsea. It's a good start. Good start for Ben Chilwell.
Down that left-hand side.
He's got to get man of the match today. He's been brilliant for Chelsea on that left hand
Money
side.
well spent today with
Really
Ben
good.
Chilwell.
worth their money. He's worth.
Assist, but I have to say, I think Zuma
Brilliant ball in
as well
for that left hand side.
He's always looked to
That cross, that ball in, that header. That header was really good. Brilliant header.
Just not able
No
to deal
chance
with
for
him.
greater.
It's a lovely ball floating
Really
toward
good
that
header.
back post, but he's just not early.
Yeah.
Strong.
Chelsea
He missed the
played
first
well
one.
in the second
There's
half.
no way he was going to miss that one.
Well, he guided that quite
from
brilliantly
Ben
beyond
Chilwell.
Wright's dive and into the
His
top
goal
corner.
and his
That's 2
assist.
goals already this season for Kurt Zouma,
He's
who's
got to get
making a
man of the
habit
match.
of it for Chelsea
got
and the
to get man of the match
celebration
for
from Frank
Chelsea.
Lampard, because he knows that
Been
he
brilliant for
wanted
his
that little
debut.
bit of daylight between his team and Crystal Palace, and that's exactly what the Zouma goal has given them.
Great
It's been a
header from
tight game.
Zuma.
It's really been on a knife edge, for a large period of time, and obviously the mistake opened that all up. But there's always still that feeling. Milivojevic has come onto the pitch.
Replaced McCarthy, as we suggested. So
Milivojevic
he's
is coming
slotted in
on for
alongside
McCarthy.
in the middle. The pitch for Crystal Palace, but it's 2-0 now to Chelsea. Both
throw
goals in the
Crystal
second
Palace
half.
to
Chilwell has
Chelsea,
scored one
sorry.
and made one. The second one scored by Zuma.
Played to the Chelsea
And you
goalkeeper.
wonder now whether the
Passed
space
it out
might
wide
just
to the
open up
right
that little
side.
bit more for the home
Back
team.
to Mendy.
This is it now. Palace's hand has been forced. They're going to have to get
Keep it
themselves on the
target
pitch
Silva,
and do
back to
more of this,
Mendy.
pressing and try and win the ball high up.
Chelsea are playing
Which will
brilliant now.
expose them more.
Playing some really great football. Ben Chilwell again.
Chilwell's got a real
Again.
taste for it now.
Driving down at left hand side, crossing it in,
Sacco,
putting it into the box.
convincing clearance for Crystal Palace. Here's
Werner on the left hand side, back to Chilwell. He's had a brilliant game, Chilwell. I'm really impressed with him today. Brilliant start to his Chelsea career. Well money
It's
spent.
ironic, really, when we talk about
Back
all
to
of
Ben
the
Chilwell.
attacking
Passed it to
power in this Chelsea
Zuma.
team. There's
Zuma
two
to
defenders
Silva.
have scored for
Silva
them today. The
to
left back and the central
Aspilicueta on his
defender, when
right
they've got
side.
all of these
Puts them down
brand
back
new shiny
to
toys at the top end of the pitch
Aspilicueta.
to play with.
Back
I
to
think also
Zuma.
what you have to factor in is
Then it's
when you
played
get 3-0
across to Zuma.
down against West Brom.
Then to Chilwell on
I
the
don't think Frank would have been
left-hand
happy with the goal
side.
they conceded midweek against
Yeah,
Tottenham
just
either.
they're comfortable now. Chelsea
He
just passed
would
it
know that
around.
it's an area that he needs to
Well in the
shore up,
mouth.
and sometimes you can just lose that
He's
attacking
definitely
edge.
got 3
Maybe you've
points
worked on a
now.
lot of defensive stuff in the week, but you have to say Chelsea look better for it.
Chelsea looked really good in the
Palace
second
haven't
half. Really
a lot
good.
going forward. You know they're a threat on the
Really
counter
impressed
attack,
with
and
them.
Chelsea have stopped that.
Definitely improvement from
The Ronaldo,
last week
5
against
goals
West
without
Brom.
reply in the Premier League.
Foul by Jorginho
Well, they come
on
from
the
3-0 down
Milivojevic.
against
Puts
West
the
Brom
free
to
kick
get the
to Crystal
3-3, and they've
Palace
scored the first 2
on the
here
edge of
today.
the
So
D in the half.
Chelsea with
in
the
the
lead.
one half.
Now we'll see whether Crystal Palace can find something like a response.
It's played short to Scott
You can see the
Liam Kelly
players arriving for the second Premier
on
League
the
game
right
of the
left
day.
hand side. It's
On 1HD and
Andros
Ultimate between Everton
Townsend
and Brighton at
to
Goodison
Eze.
Park. Richarlison, we're hearing, is fit. There's confirmation of the
Foul
Everton team in the
by
bottom. James Rodriguez, Dominic Calvert-Lewin,
yellow
Richarlison,
card
which is
to
looking like a pretty good front line
N'Golo
in the early
Kante.
weeks.
Fouled on
For Everton,
Milivojevic.
there's a yellow
Pulled
card
him
for
back.
N'Golo Kante.
Silly challenge. No need for that. Will go nowhere, Palace. It's still 2-0 Chelsea.
Could be quite a game, that one today, Jermaine. Having
10
seen Brighton
minutes.
play well against Manchester United last weekend, they won't
70
be
minutes
overawed
coming
by
up
any
now.
stretch going to Goodison.
No. They play a good brand of football. They've looked good in all the games that they've played and deserved a little bit more.
Foul.
It's a free kick for the foul on Townsend by Tammy Abraham.
Poor tackle from Tammy Abraham. Stuck his leg out, tripped him over. Free kick to
You will
Palace.
see Everton against Brighton in the company of Ian Dark and Steve McManaman when we finish here.
So Andros
At
Townsend is
Stamford
taking
Bridge,
this
which at the moment is going
from
Chelsea's
right-hand
way, but
side.
Andros Townsend has the opportunity here for Crystal Palace from the free kick.
See if they can get a goal from this free kick. Gonna put it in the box. He's putting it in the box.
Teasing one in towards Shekri.
Too far. Poor
Able
free
to
kick
keep
that
it in,
was.
but not get it back. Ayew finds a gap here to MacArthur. Teasing ball in. Chilwell with
Good
confidence.
save from Mendy.
Lots
Good
of
save.
confidence to get it back
And
to
a
his
good defender
goalkeeper.
from
It took
Ben
a bit of a
Chilwell
risk
again.
there, Ben Chilwell, but it
Oh,
worked out for him.
Mendy's down.
I think he had it
Chelsea
under control,
goalkeeper's
although
down.
his Left his keeper with a bit of a problem, but it's good play from Palace. This ball
It's
from
good goalkeeping from
McCarthy,
Mendy.
sorry, is absolutely brilliant. Just
Brave.
waiting for somebody to attack it. Andrews Townsend is caught on his heels.
That was brave. That was.
That man,
But
Ben
good
Chilwell.
defending. But Ben Chilwell again.
Coolest man in the
He's
room.
been solid at left back
That
today. Really impressed with him. I think he'll have a really good season at Chelsea.
Playing with so much confidence today, isn't he, Ben Chilwell? Glad to be back.
Really good play, Ben Chilwell.
Fitness issues. Glad to be starting in the Premier League for the
Yeah,
first time
best
today.
left
He's
back. I
marching
think
with a goal
Chelsea would
and
be glad to
an
have
assist. And we're going to see Gyro
Ben Chilwell at
Riedewald,
the club.
the next man sent on here by Crystal Palace, just in conversation there with Roy Hodgson,
Palace are making
assistant
another
Doug
sub.
Livermore.
It's MacArthur coming off
It's
for
James
Riedewald.
McCarthy
Riedewald's coming
who's
on.
making way. So the two central midfield players have gone now, Jermaine McCarthy and MacArthur.
Yeah, well, obviously, McCarthy, the two players in there are the stoppers, really. And now you're 2-0 down. You need a little bit more creativity.
On the. Oh.
Lifted forward there by Luka Milivojevic, headed away by Kurt Zuma for Chelsea.
Kurt Zuma's been solid at the back. So was Ben Chilwell. Those two have been really impressive at the back. Haven't really heard much about Thiago Silva. He's been decent, but hasn't been anything. Hasn't really had a. He's been alright, but he hasn't been like incredible. But he's had a good solid game. So has all of them. He's had a good debut. Looks solid, looks comfortable.
It's been equated to Jorginho. What a great deal of space down this side. Zaha frustrated and conceding a foul.
Cleared out Jorginho.
Frustrating afternoon for Wilfried Zaha. Not seen anything of him in this game, and I think he just took it all out in a very bit of smart play from Jorginho, who knew it was coming.
So Ben Chilwell's on the left hand side. Plays it to Kurt Zuma. Kurt Zuma to.
We might well see Christian Pulisic.
Who's that? Oh, Thiago Silva to Azpilicueta. He's played it into the central midfield to Jorginho. Out wide to Ben Chilwell on his left hand side. He's running with the ball.
No, he's going to be a big player for Chelsea as well. So Frank will be
Cuts
trying
inside,
to get as many
passes to
minutes
Jorginho.
into his return
Back to
as possible.
Jorginho.
Blocked
by Tyron Mitchell, so it's thrown to Chelsea on his left hand side in the corner flag.
There is a fitness element, I'm sure, to the early weeks of the season as well. Making sure that the players are in the kind of condition they need to be, where ordinarily they might well be further on by this stage.
Yeah, you definitely would be. And I think even just from the mental side of it, it was a quick turnaround for a lot of players. Just getting your head around that can be difficult at times, but there's no doubt as the season progresses, the games will get quicker and quicker. And it's going to be up to Frank and his team
Chelsea
to manage
been really
game time.
impressive this today.
It's Kai Havertz for Chelsea.
They've been solid all over. Ben Chilwell on this left hand side.
Leicester City
Puts
teammate
it
Chilwell.
into Abraham. Abraham to Azpilicueta. To Callum Wilson-Doy on the right hand side.
Abraham's waiting in the
He's
middle.
going to
So is
try
Werner.
put it
Havertz is going
inside.
to the
No, he's
Crystal
gone to
box two.
Azpilicueta. Back to Wilson-Doy. He's got past Mitchell, crosses it in. Oh! Abraham heads it just wide. Just wide. Great ball from Wilson-Doy. Great ball in. Should have been three. But great play from. Great play from him.
Tammy just holds his position.
Just wide.
Pocket of space in that near
Abraham
post. Defense is definitely going to drop.
nearly got his
Look,
goal.
it really is.
Just inches
It's a
away
very
from
small window he's trying to find in that
being
near
3-0.
post.
just wide from that post, that right hand side post. Unlucky Chelsea dominating now. Palace can't get the ball.
Got it back again through Kai Havertz, who receives
Chelsea
that
are playing some
layoff back
brilliant
from
football.
Abraham.
Ben Chilwell on the left hand side. Great pass to
Chilwell
Werner.
looking to switch it towards
But
Werner.
it's
Mitchell
the
with the header. Abraham's got
penalty.
down penalty.
Yeah, penalty Chelsea.
A
That was a clean, obvious foul. Yeah, it's a penalty to Chelsea. Foul by Tyron Mitchell. Obvious that was.
I mean, it's a flaming leg. He's definitely hung it out there. It's just whether he got any contact.
It's definitely a penalty.
I felt when I saw it, it was a penalty.
Yep, absolutely, that is a penalty. 100%. He sticks his leg out and he trips him over.
Yeah, they are checking it.
Definitely a penalty, but they are checking it. But it's got to be a penalty. Definitely a foul.
And it's going to stand
Definitely a
this.
foul.
And it will give Jorginho the opportunity
So
to score a third
Jorginho's
goal
taking it. He's the penalty
Chelsea.
masterclass.
The penalty stands, and
He scores
Mitchell's
all
foul
his
on
goals from
Abraham
penalty
leads to this
kicks.
penalty for Chelsea.
Can he make it 3-0?
It's a tiny amount of contact, but Tammy Abraham
My
felt it.
prediction was
It's gone
3-1
over.
at the
Won
start.
penalty.
But can Jorginho make it 3-0? He's normally
Jorginho
good at
scored one
penalties.
against
He
Brighton,
scores all of his
and he had
goals
one
from
saved
penalty
by
spots.
Alisson against Liverpool. He's got his own unique style.
He's stepping up.
Up his steps against Guaita. Little hot
He
step
scores.
by Jones.
3-0 Chelsea, well deserved.
It's back Sterling
Brilliant
away,
performance.
and effectively by Jorginho.
Brilliant performance. Absolutely deserved that. Absolutely.
Chelsea 3, Crystal Palace 0.
Really good. Really good finish. Really good penalty. So calm, confident, composed. That penalty had everything. That was everything brilliant, that was. Well struck. Brilliant penalty. But Jorginho's had an impressive game. He's been really impressive for Chelsea today. He's been all over the pitch everywhere. His passing's been brilliant. His tackles. He's won loads of duels. He's been really good. Really good. All round good performance from Chelsea.
Has he got enough kind of
And
energy
this is
and
what
legs in
we
there
expect from Chelsea
to
this
compete?
season.
But definitely on the ball, you can
They're
control
going
the
to be
game of
very,
football.
very hard team to beat this
There's
season.
been a real contrast between the two halves today for Chelsea, who had lots of the ball in the first half but couldn't really
But Palace
create a great
look
deal.
tired
And here we
now.
are with 12 minutes to go, 3 goals on the board. Chilwell, Zuma and Jorginho. And a scoreline
All
now
three
that
brilliant goals.
represents
Really
plain
good
sailing for
goals.
Chelsea.
Yeah. I would say it's a scoreline that represents the game.
Coming up to 80-minute mark
To be
now.
honest with you. Couple of
Definitely 3
mistakes in
points for
there.
Chelsea. And hope someone can
Obviously a good ball
get
delivered from Ben
3
Chilwell,
points this
but
afternoon. It'll make my
one thing I would say is
afternoon
Palace haven't offered enough going forward
more
either.
happier.
And I think not getting that balance right is what's caught them out.
The teams
Yeah,
get 2
Chelsea
weeks off
being
now
really
with the
impressive
international break, although
this
most of the
afternoon.
players, of course, will be
Zaha's
involved
had
with
a
the
quiet
countries.
game
Chelsea
for
play
Palace. He's
Southampton when the
had
Premier League
He hasn't
resumes.
had really much
For the
to
first Champions League game against
show
Sevilla
for.
here. A few days later, Palace have got their first derby of the season against Brighton, which is a game that
So
I always
throw
look
in
forward
left
to.
hand side. Foul from Crystal Palace. Chelsea free kick.
Don't forget, we've got more Premier League football for you tomorrow. Leicester
So
against West Ham.
tomorrow
Looks
I'll
like
be
it
doing
could
a
be a
live
shootout the
stream
way the
on
season
Leicester
started
versus
for those
West
two.
Ham at
That's from
11:30.
11:30 on
I'll be back
1HD and
here
Ultimate.
tomorrow
And at the same time on
for that
2HD,
game.
you can see
So that
Southampton
should be a cracking game
against West
tomorrow.
Brom.
Leicester in form, unbeaten, so that should be a good game. Ben Chilwell, left hand side, pass it to
N'Golo Kante for
Kante.
Chelsea.
Kante crosses it. What a
Picks out
pass
Callum
to
Hudson-Odoi.
Hudson-Odoi. That was a brilliant 50-yard pass. Cuts inside, Jorginho puts it in.
Space for Azpilicueta.
Oh,
The clearance
that
behind
was
wasn't
nearly
a
an
million
own goal
miles away
from
Luka
Milivojevic.
Milivojevic. It's a corner to Chelsea, but
wow, that would
they
have
seem
been
to know a great
pretty
deal about
impressive
that.
own goal. That would have been. Put one in.
Hudson-Odoi, he's enjoying this bit.
But Hudson-Odoi's had a
Space
good
that he's
game.
getting in this second
Really
half.
impressive down that right hand side.
I think there's much
He's
more
really
Milivojevic
good.
can do with that.
Really
It's a
good.
dangerous ball in the box and he just has to get a foot on it.
They've all had a brilliant game. All had a brilliant
Chelsea
game.
starting to play with a bit of swagger about
This
their
is what
game
you
now.
expect from Chelsea this
Zuma in
season.
there.
This is what
He's had
everyone
a couple of
expects.
opportunities from corners in the second half. He scored the last time he went forward. Ben Chilwell again with the Chelsea delivery.
Good hands
This time
from
on the space
Guaita.
in time for Guaita to
Good
clear the
hands.
ball.
Pass it outfield to Oh, he's lost it. That was Hudson going the right, cross it in.
Thiago Silva's cross is Kai Havertz. Down goes Havertz, penalty.
It's another penalty. It's another penalty to Chelsea. Oh, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous now. There's no need for that foul. There's no need for that foul. What is he doing?
He's had a tough afternoon, Sacco.
I mean, Sacco, that's the second mistake of the game. There's no need for that foul.
Dinks it over his leg.
I mean,
that's the clearest penalties you're going to see.
It's a clear and obvious foul.
Well, while you were looking at the replay, there's a real discussion here involving Azpilicueta,
so,
Abraham and Jorginho.
Can Jorginho score another goal from this penalty?
The Chelsea captain Azpilicueta ran across, took it off him and gave it to Jorginho. And he's unhappy there, Tammy Abraham, that he can't take it.
So, can Jorginho make it 4-0?
Yeah, get his frustrations. He's a striker. And he wants to score goals, and he feels like he's putting a shift that warrants a goal.
So, can he make it 4-0 to Chelsea?
You know, in those biggest moments, last minute,
Jorginho to step up and take it.
You stick with your penalty taker.
So, Jorginho against Guaita again.
Yeah, same technique. It went to the same corner. Brilliant finish, brilliant penalty. So it's 4-0 to Chelsea. Well deserved. Well deserved.
You feel that you're right sometimes as a player, but
really good game. Really good game. Really enjoyed watching Chelsea today. Really have, and especially in the second half. Been really good. Well deserved.
With ruthless efficiency.
They've been really ruthless in front of the
Noticeable
goal.
just out of picture while we were seeing the replay of the penalty, 2 or 3 Chelsea players went over to almost commiserate with Tammy Abraham.
And I think there was maybe question marks on whether there was a foul on.
So it's 4-0 to Chelsea.
From Chilwell. Yeah, possibly, definitely seen those given.
I might be back. I'm definitely going to do another one. Either I might do one tonight or I'll let you know. But I'm definitely doing the Leicester versus West Ham game tomorrow at lunchtime.
Even on the discussion of Tammy wanting it, don't get me wrong, it's nice that your striker wants to score goals.
That'll be a good game tomorrow. It should be. Leicester on fire at the minute, especially Jamie Vardy.
You know,
should get another.
Like I just said to you before, you
should
could be
get
coming
some
against
goals
a game,
tomorrow.
I don't know, derbies, finals, and you need your penalty taker to score in these throughout the season to get that feel.
Good defending from Thiago
Chelsea
Silva.
made a double change. They
Cleaned it
taken
out.
off N'Golo Kante and Callum Hudson-Odoi, and they sent on Mateo Kovacic. And Christian Pulisic is playing his first football for Chelsea since he was injured in the cup final. Very interesting as well there that Azpilicueta, the captain, was straight on the scene to defuse it quickly, make the on-field decision, and Chelsea scored from the spot to make it 4-0.
On the left-hand side, plays it in midfield.
In those scenarios, players don't want that
Milivojevic.
feeling or discussion.
On the left-hand side, Palace have still got the ball.
I'm sure Jorginho probably would have
Played
stepped
back
aside,
to
but it was good that
Tyron
Azpilicueta
Mitchell.
just kind of stepped in and went, no, we've got a plan.
Then
We're professionals and we
Andros
stick to it.
Townsend on the left-hand side.
I disagree a little bit. I
Plays
think
it back
Jorginho was adamant that he was
to
taking it.
Milivojevic.
Discussion
Now
between the two
it's
of
Saka,
them.
Jordan Ayew.
Here's Ayew.
Plays it in the box, cleared out
Pulisic
from
with the flick
Thiago
away.
Silva. Good clearance. Crystal Palace win it back. It's Jordan Ayew in the penalty area in the left-hand side.
Jorginho's got some
Plays
defending
it
to do,
in.
and Zuma was over there as
Well
well.
defended from Kurt Zuma. It's a Palace corner. It's Chelsea 4, Palace 0. 2 penalties from Jorginho in a brilliant finish from Ben Chilwell to make it 4-0 to Chelsea. And Zuma's goal, sorry. Good header. Good finishes. So it's a Palace corner left-hand side. Palace are pinning for a penalty, but it was never that was a penalty. So it's Ben Chilwell on the left-hand side. Left-hand side, Chelsea is in the box. Off. It's Havertz. Good save from Guaita. Good save, but it was offside. Offside. Pulisic is offside.
Between Havertz and Ayew from the corner.
Interesting to see it again.
I'm going to see who's on tonight, actually, who's playing tonight.
No, I don't think there's enough in that for a penalty.
It's not a penalty. No, it's not a penalty.
No, definitely not.
It's not a penalty. No, it's not a penalty.
So Chelsea 4, Crystal Palace 0. Ben Chilwell, Kurt Zuma, And 2 penalties for Jorginho with just less than 5 minutes to play.
5 minutes to go.
The kind of scoreline and the kind of result that Frank Lampard would have wanted heading into the
clean sheet,
international
4
break.
goals.
Especially with
Chelsea have had a good game.
the type of game he was going to be coming up
This
against.
is the results that you expect from Chelsea.
He was going to have to be
Score a
patient.
lot of goals,
That Palace can
especially the
pose a
forwards
threat
they've got and the
themselves.
defenders they've got.
Ivanovic with a free kick.
They should
Tammy
really
Abraham
concede
back there
many
for
goals
Chelsea.
this season. Look, that's not a curse, but I mean, Chelsea unbelievable. They've got stars in
A
that
difficult
pitch.
second half for Roy Hodgson. The
Stars.
tactics worked just right
On the
in
bench,
the
on the
first
field.
45 minutes, slowing Chelsea
Yeah.
down. But the moment Ben
They're going
Chilwell
to be up there
scored,
this season, I
his
think,
first
with
goal for
Liverpool
Chelsea,
and Everton and
there was a
Liverpool.
big change in
City.
the way the second half has
And maybe
turned
Man
out.
United, if they improve a bit more. But they'll be definitely up there this season.
It's been a day of mistakes, really, hasn't it, for Crystal Palace when you think about the 2%
Foul.
goal, switching off for
free
the
kick.
first goal and then conceding the penalty.
Took it quickly.
3 big mistakes and 3 big moments have made the
Gone
scoreline
to the
look really
Chelsea keeper
offside.
Mendy.
Sometimes you have to force
Upfield.
those mistakes, and Chelsea have done that. So you've got to give them credit for that as well. But yeah, that's where Roy would be disappointed. His team was switched off at vital times in this game, which has cost them. I'm sure he'll speak about that afterwards. The things that managers
Newcastle play
they're
Burnley
difficult for them to
tonight
control
at 8
individual
o'clock
mistakes, and
on Sky
today's
Sports.
there's been too many of them.
I hope Burnley win that. Hope Burnley can get their first win at St James's Park. That would be lovely. First win of the season against Newcastle. I was going to do that on live. I might do that on live.
It's been a quiet start to
I'll
life
do
in
that
the
on
Premier
live
League for
stream.
Edouard
Actually.
Mendy.
Newcastle and Burnley.
He'll have busier
Yeah, I'm
days
going to do
than
that.
this. Kiate
I'll
Costa
do the
to step in
Newcastle
front
Burnley
of
match
Vernon.
on live.
Here's Riedewald.
And hopefully
Andros
I'll
Townsend.
be cheering for Burnley. Hopefully there'll be some goals in that match.
Eze onto Millie
Doing that.
Vukovic and now Mitchell.
I'm going for a Burnley 3-0 win. 3-0 win, Burnley.
Pulisic down there working hard for Chelsea. Had such a fine end to last season, didn't he, Pulisic? When he came back from injury, he looked like a different player, really settled into this Chelsea team, and I think they're expecting big things out of him this season.
Yeah, it was a sad end to his season, but he's shown in a Chelsea shirt that he's going to be a big player for them. Done in that number 10 shirt now.
Throw in to Crystal Palace
Became the
on the
first
left hand
American to
side.
score in an
With
FA
the
Cup
corner
final
flag.
before he went off injured. Christian Pulisic.
Gonna got a couple of minutes left. 88 minutes now, so 1 minute plus added time. Not much added time on. Hasn't been many stoppages. A couple, but I would say about 3 minutes added time.
It's made by Pulisic. Here's Cech Kiate.
Been a solid performance from Chelsea. Really
What about your man of the
comfortable.
match today, Jermaine?
Well, I think the best part of Chelsea's performance
Ben
this afternoon
Chilwell.
has been the back four, and I'm going to go with Ben Chilwell.
Yeah. Ben Chilwell's got
Goal
man of the
and
match
assist,
for
he's looked
Chelsea.
solid.
Well deserved for his
The
goal and
Chelsea
his
shirt down
assist.
that left-hand side.
Been really
Took his
good for
goal
Chelsea
really well.
this afternoon for his first game.
And I think of all
His
the new
debut
players
as
that have
well,
come
so
into
a
Chelsea's
brilliant
team, he's the
debut for
one that's just
Chelsea.
kind of seemed to have
He's
slotted in
been really, really good today. Well
a more
deserved.
natural way, really. So, yeah, Ben Chilwell, the man of the match for
Yeah,
today.
that's a good
Jermaine,
choice.
so a good day personally for
Well
Ben
done,
Chilwell.
Jermaine Gina's
A
good
good day for
choice.
the Chelsea team in general.
I would have always gone for Ben Chilwell
Here's
in the
Kovacic.
second half. I mean, Jorginho's had a
There's no
class game,
Jorginho,
but
there's no doubt.
Ben
From an attacking
Chilwell's
point
had
of
a
view, Frank
he's just had a good game.
will now start to
He's
look
just
at
been-
break down where they could have done better
been
today, but
That
yeah, the two in midfield in Kante and Jorginho, they broke up play, they've
he's
committed
been
fouls
tracking back, he's been going forward,
at
putting
good
balls in the
times to break
box.
up counter-attacks.
He got an assist for his,
Zuma and Thiago
one of
looked
them,
very
so yeah, he's
comfortable.
been good. Been good
Exactly
today.
what Frank needed, I would say.
Richard, it's 90 minutes now.
3 minutes to be added on
3
here at the
minutes
end
at
of
a
the
time.
90. Mateo Kovacic out to Azpilicueta.
That's a good ball from Kovacic.
It's Timo Werner.
Werner,
Almost managed to flick his way
poor
through.
touch.
Not sure whether he meant that for himself or somebody else, but he nearly got there.
He seemed surprised.
That was a good ball as
He
well.
flicked it through at the amount of space that he
From
had. It was like, oh no.
Kovacic.
I
I could have stuck this in front of me and had a shot. It looked like it was for somebody else.
Corner to Chelsea on the right hand side. Just
seems
take
to be
it
the
to the
go-to
corner
move at
flag
the
now.
moment down in the flip
Waste time. I don't blame them.
It's Jorginho. No foul.
That's a foul. He's just pulled him by his back. Blatant foul. And that's a foul. Are you having a laugh? So then the foul before wasn't. Oh, referees do my nothing sometimes. So this is not a foul on Jorginho. He gets a shirt pulled, then that's. And then Zaha has the ball and he kicks him.
Been a frustrating evening for afternoon. Sorry for Wilfried Zaha.
He didn't
very
even
little
kick
of the ball, and
he just fell down on the
was
ball.
dominated by the
I don't like
defensive
what
two
plays,
Chelsea.
guys.
Anytime that ball's come forward,
It ruins the game.
It's a tough one to assess, though, isn't it, overall for Chelsea? Because when you see a scoreline of 4-0, you'd expect them to be rampant as an attacking team, which they haven't been. But they have totally dominated the game and dominated the ball.
This is the best I've seen Chelsea play this season, and many more performances. Ben Chilwell on the left-hand side, he pulls it in. Oh, good defensive work by Milivojevic. Well, that would have fell to Abraham.
and you've had to stick in there, knowing that you're not playing as well as you want, but you get the result.
Chilwell.
You can fall back on these performances.
Abraham deserves his goal today. He deserves his
If you
goal.
turn to last season, these are games that Frank would have drawn. Conceded sloppy goals towards the end of games that cost them a lot of points last year, and we've not even looked close to doing that this week.
Seko to Zaha, can't find a way through, wasn't fouled. Chelsea get the ball away. Focus after the international break will start to switch towards the Champions League. Chelsea in a group with Sevilla, Krasnodar and Rennes. It'll be a big night when Rennes come to Stamford Bridge for Edouard Mendy, having just left them. And that's all to come in the middle of October, and we'll follow that all the way through to the final on BT Sport.
Oh, that is a bad challenge. Both players on the floor. Pulisic and Zaha's on the floor, down injured. They're both on the floor. That was a bad tackle, that was. Bad challenge. Right, full time. They're all right now. They've got Zuma's got up. So that's full time. Chelsea 4, Crystal Palace 0. Ben Chilwell got an assist. Zuma scored. Jorginho scored 2 penalties. And Chilwell scored. Fully deserved. 4-0 Chelsea. 3 points, 2 wins out of 3.
The players now head off for an international break before the Premier League resumes in 2 weeks' time. And Chelsea have signed off for now with a win. Full time, Chelsea 4, Crystal Palace 0.
Thank you again for watching.
Thank you
I'll
both
be
very
back
much indeed. So
soon.
there you go. Chelsea 4, Palace 0. That means 10 Premier League goals scored so far this season by that man's team. 9 of them have come in the second half. So we've got the weekend going.